Yeah. They hate when you elevate. The second of losses, I'm handing them out. Yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment. I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly. I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate. Elevate. They hate when you elevate. Elevate. Yeah. They hate when you elevate. Elevate. They hate when you elevate. Yeah. I had to elevate. I'm way too fly. Yeah, I'm feeling myself. Ain't no chance I'm coming down. But when I give it up, why do they want to come take my bag? I work too hard for it, don't need a replacement. It's my vocation. Now I got rollies, all in rotation. Hop on the jet just to take a vacation. Remember the moments was trapped in the basement. Now the hard work is all taking me places. Starting all bad like we tried in the Matrix. Bet on myself and go ball out in Vegas. Living a life like I'm rich and I'm famous. Don't see the credit, I know that it came good. I ain't make it this far for myself. I had to prove to everybody else. I had to set them straight. I had to
Salute everybody in the chat. What's goody? What's really goody, man? It's the day after. We are all well rested. Hopefully everybody got some sleep this morning because we stayed up last night. We was cooking all night. Salute to J Cash, the money man in the building. To RC, fly, my brother from another mother. What's good, Jake Boxing? I don't know how many people we're gonna get in. This is definitely a pop-up situation. So, guys, remember hit the likes as we come into the building. So much to talk about last night or this morning, right? However you want to look at it. We spoke a lot about obviously Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. You know what I mean? Salute Bruce Gas Boxing Jazz in the building. Always a pleasure to have a real boxing historian in the building for sure. We spoke a lot last night, or like I said this morning, about the fight. There was a lot of emotions. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of emotions in the game. We all have our favorite fighters, and I always say, as long as we can keep it respectful and understand that boxing first, right? We always got to put the sport first. No one boxer is above the whole sport. You know what I mean? Blah, 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 blah. You guys have heard it 100 times. So, obviously you're going to have good afternoon, Mr. Big Play. Salute. You're going to have the guys who you're rooting for, who you want to win. And when you see them lose, if you're a Devin Haney fan and you saw Devin Haney lose last night and the way he lost last night, it could be a discouraging. You know what I mean? I'm sure it's been a long day for all the Devin Haney fans going on these different platforms, what I'm saying? Hearing all the I told you so's and what do you got to say about your boy now? And, all part of the game, all part of the game, all fun and games. But ultimately, but the lies make Dev hard to like. Hey, man, Jay Boxing, I hear you, right? Your truths, your lies, are going to resonate with how you feel and how much faith you have in the fighter that you're looking to support. So I definitely understand where you're coming from, though, because we even spoke about that last night. Bill Haney can be cringeworthy at times with his support and the passion he has for the support he has for his son, but respectable though. It's his son. It's his job. Who knows? Some might say without all that stuff that you guys don't like hearing from him, that he wouldn't even be in the position that he put Devin in last night to be able to compete on that level in that big arena, to get the payday that he got, to get the opportunity at greatness that he got. Who knows? But at the same time, maybe if he doesn't talk as much as he's talked, maybe some other opportunities and other doors might open up for him. We never know, man. But we have to sometimes just respect the intention, right? Respect what they're trying to do, and take the meat that makes sense and leave the bone behind. You know what I'm saying? What you don't like, leave it for sure. Mr. Playboy Claymore, did you hear Derrick James say it would have looked better if Devin got KO? That beating like that. Do you agree? Also, could the same be said for EJ? 100%, Mr. Big Play. Without a doubt, that the way Devin Haney lost last night was about as bad of a loss as you can take, because if he would have gotten knocked out early in the match, anybody can get knocked out with a punch. Things happen. He gets clipped, boom, not his night. It doesn't say anything about his skill set. It doesn't say anything about his abilities. But when you watch 12 rounds of Devin Haney trying to come up with something to adjust, and you see his lack and his inability to adjust. Not only does it make Devin Haney look good, but it shines light on Ryan Garcia and what he actually brings to the table. I think Ryan Garcia has completely reinvented himself again in a sport where some might ask, did he need reinventing? Should we have already had known who Ryan Garcia was? And did we dismiss a lot of his accomplishments in his amateur career, a lot of his promises in his young prospect career that we all saw? Did we dismiss him because of some mental health issues that he took a time out for himself, and also him feeding into that? He spoke a little bit in the post-fight press conference to say that the internet is a wild place. You guys just grab onto ideas and you guys run with it. And he tapped into that. He actually tapped into that and used that for himself to promote the fight and to feed into people's own egos about what they think they know in comparison to what they really don't know. Meanwhile, in the background, he was really training. He really had a game plan. He really had a focused intention on what he was going to do in the fight. And we're going to talk about it on this segment right here, because I think people, him not making the weight, for example, how I think that was clearly something that was planned. He did that on purpose. He even mentioned it a little bit in the post-conference, saying that he actually never fought at 140 pounds. He never made the weight class. He fought 143 pounds against Oscar Duarte. So he already understood, kind of like, how Shakur Stevenson and Consequiar carried it when he just basically came into the fight knowing, I'm going to 147. This fight just needs to be made. He knew it was going to be a big fight because it was because it was Devin Haney. He knew the money was going to be there. And let's be honest, you know what I'm saying? It was a fight that should have been made a long time ago. So before he actually made his move, it looks like he just went ahead and did catchweight. Now, there was some chess moves made by Ryan Garcia. For example, maybe he could have let Devin Haney know that it was going to be a catchweight fight, that he didn't want to fight at 140. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Maybe if Devin Haney didn't do such a strict weight cut, maybe that would have put Devin Haney in a position to fight a catchweight fight to where maybe he would have been at not depleted, because we saw that the weight cut also for Devin Haney looked like it was a little complicated for him, right? It looked like this was not one of his best weight cuts that he had in his camp. Eyes sunken in. He looked real weak, blinking a lot on that weigh-in. Granted, though, on the night of the fight, he looked good. In the back of the locker room, it looked like it all came together, right? But when you're doing weight cuts like Devin Haney did, and he's been doing clearly since 135, after a while, that might have an effect on you, right? The liquid in your body, like how's your body react to going from one weight, 25, 30 pounds the night before to just gaining all that weight back inside of 24 hours? Like, is he really replenished? Is he really energized? Devin Haney's had a hard time manifesting power in his fights. Everybody knows that he's had issues with being a power puncher, and some people will credit it to the whole "you're born a puncher" thing, right? You're born a puncher and you can't make a puncher, and some people will credit it to that. I think I can co-sign that to a degree, to a large degree. But also there's some people who might say that Devin Haney's never really been in the ring in a full reinstated full strength way. He's always been putting himself through these strict weight cuts, and that's his fault, right? Some people call it weight bullying. That's his fault for putting himself in a position to where he's cutting his weight so far that he has such a long way to go up when getting the weight back. That's what he's choosing to do. He's reaping the advantages of doing that, but obviously he also has to be accountable for the disadvantages. So nobody can make excuses for what Devin Haney's doing. But one might say, and is going to argue, does Devin Haney need to go ahead and take that trip to 147 pounds? Does he need to find a weight class where he can make the weight without cutting so extremely so that he can get some of his strength about him? He looked chinny last night. Ryan Garcia was able to clip him a couple of different times and have him on skates, have him moving around looking like with the Bambi legs. There were some people who say there were knockdowns in the fight that just weren't counted. I myself could say that without power, when you get to a certain point in this game, it does seem as if you're fighting an uphill battle, that eventually somebody's going to clip you. Eventually you're going to get hit. You can't go through your whole entire career not getting hit. You use power to dissuade some of these fighters from rushing through your whole entire offense or defense, should I say, and ultimately doing what Ryan Garcia did last night. Let's see here. Let me read some of these. We kicking it up today up in here. Let me say what's up to some of the people in the building too. Shout out to TR, man. Salute TR. You guys let me know. Is my soundboard coming? Is my soundboard coming through okay? You guys hear me okay? Let me know if I'm coming through okay. Let Let me see it for sure. TR, and we got a shout out to the guys in here who really were calling this fight from the beginning. I gotta say for myself, I was humbled last night, right? I was humbled, and I'm gonna explain to you why I was humbled last night. I was humbled because I always understood that Ryan Garcia could stop Devin Haney. I understood what he brought to the table and what could happen, but I really allowed the antics outside of the fight to really get in my own head and be like, yo, is this guy not mentally focused? He's not going to be able to compete on the same level as somebody who's super focused. And Ryan Garcia spoke to it. When he said, I had to acknowledge that I fell under that umbrella, right? He said, you guys watch the internet and you read into so much stuff going on out there. He actually took advantage of that and was feeding the community, feeding the space information just to throw them off. I don't even think he was throwing off Devin Haney as much as he was throwing off the fans that were out there and the sport, the content creation spaces that were out there trying to really use the little bit of information that we're seeing to really diagnose and predict something that was going to happen. And what we never really came full circle to do is talk about the meat and the potatoes of the situation. Ryan Garcia has a fast left hook. He has a decent, fast right hand. He's a big guy. Any bit in time, he can clip Devin Haney. And we really thought that Devin Haney could stay away from that left hand for 12 rounds. 12 rounds. And when you think about it, the odds were not very good that Devin Haney was going to stay away from that left hook for 12 rounds. You know, it just wasn't likely that he was going to be able to do that. So much in boxing, you know. Sometimes you got to bring it back to meat and potatoes. The internet is a crazy space, you know what I mean? And you got to take it with a teaspoon at a time, right? Be careful of what you're watching out here, what you're feeding into. Let's read some of these comments in here. Let me see. Bruce Gass, Devin got that chin crack last night for sure. Jay Cash, the money man. Let's see here. J Box says, I like Devin, but yeah, I answered that already, right? Claymore say, do I agree? Oh, by the way, let me answer the second part of that question for Mr. Big Play. Do I agree? That could also be said for EJ. Yeah, man, the way EJ lost his fight against Terrence Crawford was very extreme, right? He really had a lot of pressure put on him. He really got punched a lot. He didn't get knocked out, but he got stopped. And yeah, it makes a big difference. Just like what Derrick James said about you know, I would say Derrick James has firsthand experience on speaking on how bad that beating was that Devin received and how that could affect him for the rest of his career. We got to see how Devin is going to come back from this. Who's he going to become after this? What's his next moves after this? And what's Ryan's next move after this? You know, big time success for Ryan Garcia. Last night, some people are talking about he's the face of boxing now. He's one of the biggest stars out there. I don't know if I want to disagree with that. I'm going to be honest with you. Ryan Garcia is trending right now. He's a big deal right now, and his next move is probably going to be his best move. Does he rematch Devin Haney? If Devin Haney wants to rematch, I think Ryan Garcia made it clear that he's down for that. But he's made it clear that he's not fighting at 140, right? He's definitely going up to 147. He can't make the weight in a healthy way anymore, he said. Him and his father said that. So expect to see him at 147. And if he's going to fight Devin again, it sounds like it's going to be at 147. And let's look at it from another angle. Devin at 147, is he a different threat at 147? A Devin that's not making such an extreme weight cut, is he a bigger threat at that weight class? Does he offer problems in different situations to Ryan Garcia that he couldn't afford to offer him at 140 pounds? You know, and what does Devin go at this point as well? Does he stay there? He's still the WBC champion. He's holding that belt at the junior welterweight division. There are fights there for him to make. There's championships for him, unifications out there for him to do. But once again, without power, and in that 140 weight class division, something he was able to do at 135, where his opponents weren't necessarily the most powerful opponents. You go back to Jorge Linares when he fought Jorge Linares and Jorge clipped him. You know what I mean? That had him on Bambi legs. As 140 pounds, you got a lot of punchers there. Subriel Matias, Teofimo Lopez, Pitbull Cruz. These guys are punchers, man. Are they as big punchers as Ryan Garcia? Maybe not, but does it have to be a Ryan Garcia left hook that's going to put him on Bambi legs, or is a Pitbull Cruz right or left hook enough to put him on Bambi legs? Is a Subriel Matias straight or hook enough to put him on Bambi legs or knock him out? Is a Teofimo strong enough to do it? So we got to see what Devin wants to do, obviously. I'm sure he's enjoying his win last night as far as money is concerned. His win last night as far as as far as what the successful event that he was a part of. We got to see what the pay-per-view numbers are going to be, right? We don't know how that went, but he made a lot of money last night, so he has something to celebrate, but he also has his wounds to lick. Let's keep on looking through the messages here. That's why the Tank fight was a bad move for Ryan. 100% J-Boxing as far as that weight cut, right? As far as that depletion is concerned. That also gets put into consideration. The Ryan Garcia that we saw fight against Tank Davis, after we seen his performance last night with Devin Haney, does that put that fight into perspective? Is Ryan Garcia really a more formidable opponent for Tank Davis than we want to acknowledge? Because a lot of people, including myself, feel like Tank Davis outclassed Ryan in that fight. But it turns out that if he can't even make 140 comfortably, then, what was he supposed to look at 136 pounds with a 10-pound rehydration clause on him? What did we really expect to see for him from that? That fight last night puts a lot of things in the past into perspective, and it also puts Ryan Garcia's future into perspective and how serious he's taking boxing. Let's say it says, get out of there, Dev. What does that mean, 203 JD? If you don't mind elaborating, what does get out of there, Dev mean? Let me see. Dev got that chin checked a few times. Get out of there, Dev, again. He put it up there. Maybe he's just trolling, guys. Ryan should focus on 147, 154. I agree with you, Jay Boxing. I wouldn't think that's far-fetched at all. I think at this point, with this fight that Ryan Garcia has had with Devin Haney, he's got enough accolades from that fight. At this point, what is it that Ryan Garcia hasn't seen and been able to do yet? Get himself a championship. He hasn't been able to secure that for himself, and this might be the time at this point to start pointing in that direction. And realistically, he can't do that doing catchweight fights. So it's time for him to focus on a weight class that he's going to be comfortable at, that he can start chasing around some guys with some belts and make some big fights. I know people are going to think it's far-fetched, or maybe you guys don't think it's far-fetched at this point, but is a Ryan Garcia and a Jerron Boots Ennis far-fetched right now? Is Jerron Boots Ennis still just that many levels above Ryan Garcia to where that fight's not even competitive? Is Ryan Garcia wrong or out of his mind for looking at a Jerron Boots Ennis fight in the future, considering the relationship now that Jerron Boots Ennis now shares with Turki Alalshikh and Eddie Hearn? Is Turki Alalshikh maybe interested in seeing a Ryan Garcia versus Jerron Boots Ennis? Is he interested in seeing a Ryan Garcia versus Terrence Crawford at 154? Maybe, or maybe Terrence Crawford. I don't know. There's so many things. We're not talking about PBC fighters right now. When you're talking about Golden Boy, when you're talking about Matchroom, when you're talking about Queensberry, you are talking about potential Turki Alalshikh, right? Collaborations coming together, big money fights, huge fights getting made, and where these fighters are making the most money in the world, and these guys are prize fighters first. So what does that look like? Let's see here. Let's keep reading down. Thanks for my royal salute. Hope you're enjoying your Sunday at Jalen. Okay, talking to Jalen. Salute to Jalen in the building. Larry Lopez, the one punch Haney had to avoid, he got caught with. 100% Larry Lopez. And Larry, let me ask you a question. Let me ask the chat something. Knowing who Devin Haney is, as smart and as high as of an IQ that he brings to the ring, if Ryan Garcia is able to catch Devin Haney with left hooks that he can't see coming, who in the 140-pound weight class division has a higher IQ than Devin Haney? And who do you guys think is going to be able to not get hit with that left hook for 12 rounds? You guys let me know what you think in the comments. Sorry for the loss, Larry. I'm a boxing fan first. Free smoke. Definitely Larry Lopez. Let's be honest. Great fight last night. Outside of the fact that you guys may be fans of Devin Haney or whatever have you, last night was a great fight. And this is what happens. And listen, guys, let's not also forget that back in the day, when you talk about Sugar Ray Leonard, when you talk about Roberto Duran, when you talk about Tommy the Hitman Hearns, when you talk about Muhammad Ali, when you talk about Larry Holmes, George Foreman, I mean, the list can go on and on. Most of the great fighters we love who are in the Hall of Fame, Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, the Klitschko's, the list goes on and on. They all did what? They all took losses. So does this mean, so that means we can't sit here and throw Devin Haney away, right? He was exposed last night, but he's not thrown away. Great fights get made when great fighters fight each other. And great fighters aren't great because they're undefeated. They're great because they're great and because they're willing to test themselves. And we got to give Devin Haney his respect for testing himself last night. He came up short, but he did test himself. Let's see here. He busted my boy Devin ass. Shake my head. For sure, $1 trillion dreams. That's how it goes, right? But this is also the setback for the big get back, right? It's a setback for the big get back. These are what stories are made off of him being able to come up out of the ashes like the Phoenix and coming from such a devastating loss like this to reinvent himself, come back greater, better than he was before, and potentially redeem himself, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And the story goes on, right? The climax of the story, the movie. We're here for it. We're here for it. You know what I'm saying? The fight was very entertaining. Shout out Larry Lopez for sure. Ross Clark 22 in the building. Salute Ross Clark. Ross Clark says, Devin won't be a threat, guys. In the beginning, we all overestimated Haney. Man, Ross Clark, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you, man. I think Devin showed that he didn't have that power. And once again, it says it on my thumbnail. Power, man. You get to a certain point in this game, power is something. It's an intangible variable in the spokes of the wheel, right? We always hang our hats on IQ when the skilled fighter beats everybody. But even Floyd Mayweather, as skilled as he was, had enough power to keep the people he fought honest. When he fought Miguel Cotto, right? When he fought Mike Donna, when he fought Manny Pacquiao, people want to say that Floyd Mayweather ain't knocking nobody out. But ask those guys who he fought. Ask Manny Pacquiao why he threw less than half the punches that he normally throws in his other fights against Floyd Mayweather. Something neutralized that man and made that man think twice and made him not overcommit and made him not just rush through Floyd Mayweather, who you can see when you look at a Devin Haney, what would have happened to a Floyd Mayweather if he didn't have that honest power. So Devin has to find that power. And I don't think at 140 pounds or at 135 pounds, he's finding that power. My only hope for him is if he goes to 147, I can only blame it at this point on the weight cuts. And that's me reaching, because I'm not sitting here trying to make excuses for Devin Haney. But if he is going to manifest that power, that's going to make him a factor, that's going to make him a pay-per-view star, that's going to make him must-see boxing, he has to find this power somewhere. This power has to come from somewhere. So in my opinion, he has to eliminate these weight cuts, these extreme weight cuts. He has to find a way to eliminate it. Even though, you take care of one problem, it's like medicine, right? You take the medicine, it takes care of one problem, but the side effects cause another problem, right? So you take the medicine of putting Devin Haney at 147 pounds, so he's not doing these extreme weight cuts. What's the side effects? Harder punchers, bigger fighters, bigger threats. Got to balance it out and see how that works out for him, how he's able to balance all that stuff out. But he has to tap into something. For him to be a superstar in the game, he has to tap into something. He has to give somewhere. He has to sacrifice, and he has to take a risk somewhere. And right now, from my perspective, 147 pounds is not far-fetched for Devin Haney to take that risk to go up there and start seeing if he can find some power, if he can find some strength. You know what I mean? If he can find some strength in his chin. You know what I'm saying? If less of a dehydration puts, less issues with the water being dehydrated from around his brain, maybe he won't be so sensitive to getting hit. Granted, Ryan Garcia is not your average puncher. He's one of the biggest punchers out there that Devin can face. So everybody's not Ryan Garcia, but constantly in the industry, Devin Haney's chin has been questioned. Some people have been defensive about it, like, you guys are over-exaggerating. You've seen Jorge Linares shake him up. You've seen, you know what I'm saying? You've seen him get shaken up sometimes in his career, and you want to say now he has no chin. I understand. I hear you guys. But at the same exact time, last night, he got clipped very early. He was on Bambi legs very early. And I don't think Ryan Garcia is the only person who can deliver a shot strong enough to give Devin Haney the same result he got last night. He needs to get some fortitude. He needs to strengthen up his chin. He needs to get some pop in his hand. There's just a lot of holes that got popped out on Devin Haney last night that need to get patched up in order for us to put Devin Haney back in the conversations of fighting the Tank Davises and, becoming undisputed again at 140 pounds, or becoming undisputed at 147, or ever becoming undisputed again. A lot of strong fighters, a lot of hard punchers at 140 and 147 pounds. Devin has to find some power. Free Smokey tripping. He got beat worse than Errol. I don't think he can fight anymore. Look, I don't know if Free Smoke, I don't know if he got beat worse than Errol. Maybe. I don't know. Errol caught a pretty bad ass whooping, bro. He caught a pretty bad ass whooping. And at the end of the day, how many rounds did Errol win against Terrence? Let's be honest. At least Devin won a lot of rounds. You know what I'm saying? Outside the rounds that he got knocked down and clipped, he won rounds. Whether it was Ryan Garcia taking them rounds off, or he was, setting up Devin Haney, that's arguable. But I don't know if that happened. Let's see. Haney is a talented fighter who lost to someone who can't box. Unfortunately, it happens sometimes. Yeah, Ross Cloud, I agree with you, man. I don't know if I'm going to say Ryan Garcia can't box. I think he showed that he could box last night. But you know what he did show last night? He showed that power is a big deal in boxing, man. When you think about Deontay Wilder and his boxing IQ, but how much of a factor he was because of that power he brought to the ring, that neutralizer speaks. That neutralizer speaks very loud. It speaks almost as loudly as skills does. You know what I mean? And they have that history with each other, so he kind of knew what Devin Haney does. Devin Haney was a high-level fighter. I'm not ready to take that away from Devin Haney. Devin Haney doesn't become somebody who's not a high-level, high IQ boxer, and that's who Ryan Garcia fought, potentially the highest IQ that he got in front of. You can argue Gervonta Tank Davis was in that arena as well as far as over Devin Haney, but he was able to overcome all that high IQ, all that skill set with his boxing. He was able to land combinations. He didn't just hit him with one freak left shot. He was hitting him with combinations, uppercuts. He was moving around the ring, cutting the ring off on Devin Haney. He was giving Devin Haney a lot of issues last night. I don't know if I'm ready to say Ryan Garcia can't box. Derrick James, oh my God, that's the other story, the redemption of Derrick James. And is it fair for me to say the redemption of Derrick James? I'm sure some people are going to be like, oh, you guys are all mean to Derrick James as well. Listen, man, Derrick James had some bad luck. Errol Spence, Jamel Charlo, Frank Martin even had a pretty lackluster on his last performance. And then Ryan Garcia's last performance was, it was okay. I'll tell you this fight put the Oscar Duarte fight in perspective. Looks like Ryan Garcia's little California roll is more effective than we might want to admit, right? So we got to take all that into consideration. But Derrick James, I love the way he was able to get that work he did in the corner for Ryan Garcia. Amazing. Amazing. The way he was able to shut Henry Garcia down, let him know, I need this man's ear right now. He just was taking control. You got to give him just as much credit for Ryan Garcia's victory last night. It was just as equal as a victory for Derrick James and his reputation in the game and who he is, what he can do when he has a fighter who's going to listen to him, when he has a fighter who's going to take his instructions and he has a fighter's ear. You see what can happen. Look at Ryan Garcia if you ever need an example. Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney in Barclays Center. Check out that fight if you want to see what Derrick James can do. Let's see. Derrick James is still a bum-ass trainer. He didn't teach Ryan Haney. Ross Clot. I said all of that just to end up reading that message from you. One of my favorite subscribers and patrons to this community, Ross Clot 222, man. Love you, boy. Shout out to Showbiz, because I did definitely jack that line from Showbiz. That fight could have gone completely different. Jay Cash, we have to keep it 100 on that, right? I think this fight puts Ryan Garcia back on the board, and we have to re-evaluate the Ryan Garcia situation, and we got to place him in the right place now. He was in the wrong place in our minds. What we saw of Ryan Garcia, what we expected of Ryan Garcia, what we thought Ryan Garcia could be, what we think Ryan Garcia is going to be in the future. We got to reevaluate that. Maybe let's not make the decision in this episode right now, but I think we need to rethink Ryan Garcia. We need to rethink. Hoodrich, he made the weight for us, though. Yeah, Hoodrich, salute, for sure. Ross Clot, one loss doesn't mean it's the end of your career. Y'all knew boxing fans was dumb as F. Or, dumb as fuck. I could say it, right? It's daytime, but we could say it. And I know I read that like a damn preschooler. I don't know what. I got caught up. I got caught up in reading that. I got the sounding out won and lost. You know what I'm saying? One syllable words. I got the sounding that out for you guys. But yeah, man, I was mentioning that a little bit earlier. You know what I mean? Boots will murder Ryan. I hear you, Larry. But let me ask you, Larry Lopez, let me ask you. Ryan and Garcia and Boots Ennis. You not catching that fight? Is that a great fight or is that a waste of our time? You tell me about what you think about that. Let's see. Free Smoke. Devin is through. Come on, Free Smoke. I'm sorry. I don't co-sign that. Ryan hurts Boots. Whoa, TR. Of course, TR. I should have looked at the name of the damn thing before I read it. But look, I'm gonna tell you, after last night, TR, it's not far-fetched. Not at all. I think anybody who gets hit with that left hook can be hurt by Ryan Garcia. That left hook is that remarkable. It's that remarkable. Shout out to Derrick James also, because he built a strategy around Ryan Garcia's strengths. Derrick James has had a reputation for changing fighters from who they naturally are, right? For example, Anthony Joshua, right? When he got with Anthony Joshua, some people feel like Derrick James tried to change who Anthony Joshua was. And when Anthony Joshua went over to Ben Davison, it seemed like Ben Davison built a strategy around Anthony Joshua's strengths, right? When Anthony Joshua tried to become a boxer, people kept trying to feed into that and just didn't seem to fit him, going back to the quote unquote basics and the fundamentals. Sometimes you got to build around who the boxer is. Another example, Deontay Wilder, the way Malik Scott tried to come in there and change who Deontay Wilder was. And you saw what happened against Deontay Wilder and Joseph Parker, what that turned into. So hopefully, speaking on Deontay Wilder, and we're not segueing out of the conversation, but just say, let's see what he looks like against Zhang. Let's see if he gets back to the old Deontay Wilder, the one who wasn't the highest IQ or the best boxer, but was efficient and knew how to deliver power with that right hand, knew how to set it up, and he was just a factor and a danger in the fight no matter what. Let's not forget, even against Tyson Fury, as much as Tyson Fury was boxing circles around him, he almost got knocked out too. He got laid down for a 10 count. He got put down more than 2 or 3 times against Deontay Wilder. How many people put Tyson Fury down as many times as Deontay Wilder? And that's a high level, quote, high IQ, pound for pound great fighter in Tyson Fury. So you got to learn to build around the strengths that you have. Don't worry, y'all. Devin will still be in the Hall of Fame if he retires today. Free smoke. Very possible. He's the youngest 4-belt era champion in the history. You know, I mean, he's accomplished a lot. And look, he's a young guy. We got to, you know, this kid's what, 25, 26 years old, 25. I don't know who his age is off the top of my head, but he's got a lot of time to create more opportunities, to create more legacy. We're probably going to see Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia again at 147 at some point. He has so much career ahead of him. We definitely can't throw him out. That would just be an injustice to boxing as well as himself. And to us, jipping ourselves of seeing history being made. Larry Lopez, Devin didn't have the power to keep Ryan at bay. Boots has that power. 100%, I agree with you. Boots does have that power. Look, Larry, big time fight. I'll tell you right now, if they were to fight, I'm leaning towards Boots to win that fight. But I just feel like it was so far-fetched to see them fight each other before last night. After last night, it's just not far-fetched anymore, right? Knowing that he's going up to 147, it becomes way more realistic, way more tangible. You could taste it, becomes a little bit more realistic now. You can kind of taste it a little bit, pause, right? Like I can see that fight coming together and that being a big show and the pay-per-view numbers being whatever they're going to be, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I'm saying? That's a big money fight for Jaron Boots Ennis. That's got to entice Jaron as well. Like, yeah, I don't want to fight Ryan Garcia. Look at the fan base. Look how they showed out last night for Ryan Garcia again, which also puts into perspective the Ryan Garcia Tank Davis fight again, as far as the show out, as far as the pay-per-view sales. Was it Ryan Garcia who carried that pay-per-view to where it was at 1 point whatever million? Was it Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Tank Davis? And just to put it in perspective, is Gervonta Tank Davis going to fight anybody else except for Ryan Garcia and sell 1.2, 1.3 million pay-per-views? We got to give Ryan Garcia his credit and what he and acknowledge what he actually brings to the game. He may be the biggest pay-per-view star in boxing today outside of Canelo Alvarez. It's arguable at this point. You guys can take it a little bit at a time, because I know Tank Davis is the face of boxing, but you never know. I've heard crazier things, right? Let's see how the pay-per-view numbers do in this fight as well. Let's see here. Devin didn't have the power to keep. Okay, we already did that one. Jay Boxing says Tank can beat Ryan at 140, but not 147. I'm a Tank fan, but I'm a boxing fan first. Tank was very smart, and he even said, I'm not getting hit by this kid. Salute, Jay Boxing, aka White Chocolate. Salute, brother. Yeah, man, we could be a fan of Tank, but I love that statement when you said I'm a fan of boxing first. We got to be a fan of boxing first, and we got to acknowledge the intangibles. You know, there's no Superman in boxing. Everybody is strong, has strengths, and they have weaknesses. Tank Davis happens to be a 5'4" or shorter guy, 135-pound guy, shorter arms. He has attributes that get in his way of beating up a Terrence Crawford, of beating up a Jaron Boots Ennis. He's not Superman. And fighting Ryan Garcia, somebody who punches like that, you have to acknowledge the intangibles. He's tall. He has long arms. He knows how to deliver power. Tank has admitted feeling his power at 136. What do you think is going to happen at 147? You think he's going to get weaker? You think he's going to get that much slower? You think he's going to, you know what I'm saying? You think he's going to lose or gain? I don't know. I'll let you guys figure that out on your own. Let me see. Clarence Banks, salute. In my opinion, it isn't the size, weight of Ryan that was the problem for Dev. Dev couldn't deal with the speed and the power. I agree with you 100%. Ryan brings that speed and that power. And it's a factor that you can't deny. Mr. Big Play, I don't think Devin needs that rematch right now. No disrespect. I agree with you, brother. I don't know if he needs it, but at the same time, if he feels like he wants it, if he feels like he saw some opportunities to win that fight, like I said, he still has some things he can hang his hat on. He can still say, listen, man, I was depleted. He's not going to say that, but he may be interested in fighting Ryan at 147 pounds to see what he looks like up there. Maybe he can generate some honest power up there. You know, his IQ ain't going nowhere. He just himself needs to come up with his power and find out who he is. And that's why these fighters, these great fights happening, right? The best fighting the best. That's why these fights are important, because these fighters need to test themselves, to test their limitations, to see who they really are. They may think they're this, they may think they're that, but until they put themselves in the ring across from that real challenge, they'll never know who they really are. And more importantly, we won't know. We can think whatever we want to think, but we won't know. Free Smoke, I don't know how his resume gaze. Okay. J-Cast, Devin needs to stay away from Subriel, Teal, and Tank. Don't fuck with them right now. J-Cash, I can't argue with you, man. You know, like I said, man, if he's not able to generate power and he's not able to keep these guys honest, you know, 140 might not be the weight class. It doesn't seem like the weight class where he's able to generate that. Although we won't dismiss the results that he had with Regis Prograis as well. We won't dismiss that. But last night he just wasn't, he didn't offer Ryan Garcia any type of real resistance when it came down to it. In my opinion, Ryan Garcia was just setting him up. He was food from the moment he got clipped in that first round. J Cash Money Man, Devin need to stay away. Boom boom, Free Smoke, whatever. J Box. People can think I'm crazy, but I got Dev giving problems to people at 147. You're not crazy, J Boxing. You're not crazy. You are not crazy. Man, there's so many comments in here. I'm not running through all these damn comments. I appreciate the turnout, by the way, guys. Please remember to hit the likes, hit the thumbs up while we're in here. I'm gonna tell you like this: if we can get this up past 50 people in the building, I'm going to do a giveaway. I'm letting you know right now. Somebody gonna get handed a C note, and if we fuck around and get this up to 100 people in the chat, I'm gonna hand out $5 to somebody, and I'm not talking about 5 singles. You heard? Salute to Kyle Porter in the building. Salute you guys. Salute to you guys. Let's see here. Tank doesn't doesn't even know what weight class he's in. Tank cherry picking Frank Martin. Yeah, I don't know if he's cherry picking, man. You don't know him, JK. You not GTD. Listen, as far as Tank Davis is concerned, let me tell you guys something, man. I want to be clear on my stance on this topic of Tank Davis. I believe Tank Davis wants to fight everybody. I'm going to repeat that. I believe Tank Davis wants to fight everybody. I don't think there's nobody Tank don't want to fight. I think the people around Tank have to contain Tank from beating up everybody who says his name. Probably me. If I say his name wrong, they got to hold him back. Like, don't beat up on Claymore. Come on, man. I know Hood Rich up in the gym like, not Clay. Not Clay, Tank. Relax, bro. I know you. Not Clay. Right, Hood Rich, I hope you have my back in there. I hope you would never let Tank just beat me up. You know what I'm saying? So I think Tank wants to fight everybody, right? But I think his handlers, or maybe I don't want to dismiss his power and say that he has handlers, but I'm going to say the people with vested interest in his future are going to strategically move Tank around to make the most money they can make, to give Tank the best chance he has at becoming the biggest star that he can become. As fans, if Ryan Garcia didn't teach us anything last night, I hope we walk away with one thing. Damn what the internet says. Damn what the internet says. Let's not get caught up. Let's not get caught up on what we see on the internet, because what we see on the internet is what they want us to see, and what we never see what's going on backstage, right? So is Tank Davis cherry picking Frank Martin? I'm not going to say that. This man is going to be on a 14-month layoff by the time he fights Frank Martin in June 15th. By the way, they put it out last night finally that it is going to be June 15th now, not June 22nd, and it's locked away from what I understand, right? Tank put out a posting on Instagram or on Twitter. I don't know which one it was. And so did Frank Martin. And I think the PBC also made an official announcement as well. But anyway, I digress to say that he has to, get himself back in the game. You know what I mean? Coming off of Ramadan as well, where he was fasting. He's probably lost a lot of good weight. He got to put on that good weight and get himself right. Frank Martin is a great tune-up fight. And not to dismiss who Frank Martin is, because I don't want to call Frank Martin a tune-up fight and then take away the value or the threat that he actually offers to Tank Davis in that fight. Frank Martin's probably going to be, in my opinion, potentially the biggest threat or the biggest challenge that Tank Davis has had up to date. It'll be arguable. Obviously, hindsight is always cleared in 2020, so we'll see how that fight turns out. So it's not a cherry pick, you know what I'm saying? But I do believe that we will see Tank fight most of the people that we want to see him fight before his career ends, before he retires. I think we're going to see him fight. We're going to see him fight most of the people that we want to see him fight. I'll be honest with you. I don't know about the Devin Haney fight at this point. I think Devin Haney needs to go up in weight. I don't see Tank Davis going up to 147 pounds to fight a Ryan Garcia or Devin Haney at this point. He's already fought Ryan Garcia once and beat him as well. So, any fights inside of 135 or 140, I think is very realistic for Tank Davis. And I think we're going to see him doing that. You know what I mean? I think we're going to see it. Nah, Clay, you said it right. Frank is a tune-up. I'm not saying that, man. I don't disrespect fighters on here, bro. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Let me see. Oh, we got a little smoke in here. Love you guys. You guys love to have the smoke in the chat here. Whoever's saying Frank sucks, y'all never been in the boxing ring. I hear you, Hood Rich. I just don't think he sucks. I think that's insanity to say that. Kyle Porter, and don't be so quick to laugh at Dev, Tank, or your favorite fighter can lose. 100%. Guys, I'm going to preach it until I'm blue in the face, man. Boxing first, man. Don't get caught up on your fighter to the point to when you see him lose, you're losing your credibility as far as your ability to just call it how it is. I like Devin Haney. I respect what Bill Haney does with Devin Haney. Last night pushed Devin Haney's stock down. He has things to work on. And I'm going to be real with you. I think those big weight cuts, I'm going to keep saying it again. I think those big weight cuts for Devin Haney might have caught up with him last night against Ryan Garcia. It's very possible that may have happened. He shouldn't fight Devin. That boy Devin is ass. Free smoke. Okay, why didn't he then? Tank is testing himself. We see how it turns out. Hope he shows what he actually is capable of against Frank. 100% Jay Cash the money, man. I think seeing Tank against Frank Martin, Calvin Ford has always said, I've heard him say it multiple times, you guys haven't even begun to see what Tank Davis can do. He has not begun to remove the tools out of his toolbox or show you what's in his arsenal. And he said one more thing that was very important. It's going to take that right fighter to make him pull those tools out the bag. And I think Frank Martin has enough tools and enough capability to give us a Tank Davis that we may have never seen before, right? We may have never seen before, but it's going to take Frank Martin's showcasing his talents and being the best Frank Martin he's ever been to have us see a Tank Davis that we've never seen, So let's hope Frank Martin is up for the task. And you never know, Frank Martin can win this fight, and be ready. Like Hood Rich or the other Tank fans, you know what I'm saying? Well, Hood Rich won't have an issue with it because the love for Tank is not just based off of boxing. They actually have a relationship. But, all you fans of Tank remain. If something happens and Tank takes his first L against Frank Martin for whatever reason, you know what I mean? Be prepared to support him the same way that Devin Haney fans should be supporting their fighter as well, who took a loss last night. Let's see. Hood Rich said, I'm going live tonight. Who will be on there? Hood Rich, you talking about Calvin Ford? Is Calvin going to be on there or is Tank going to be on there? You talking about Calvin, right? You let me know. Kyle Porter, applaud the fighters who take tough fights, as that's what entertains us the most. 100% Kyle Porter. As boxing fans, don't knock Devin Haney too bad. You know what I mean? Don't make it hard for other fighters who are undefeated to put their O's on the table. Somebody got to lose, guys, especially when you're talking about putting undefeated fighters against undefeated fighters. Somebody's going to walk away with a loss that night. We can't get in the habit of throwing away fighters because they take losses. This is a new thing that's happening in 224, this era here where they can't see fighters take losses. This wasn't the case maybe some time ago. Talk to some of your OGs. They might tell you a little about what I'm saying right now. Roscott, I got my nose busted more than once, got bruised up more than once, all from boxing. I know plenty of boxers. Okay, I think he's talking to somebody. Let's see here. Let's scroll down. Frank Martin was considered a fucking okay. 100 toughest fights a day, Frank. Rick Timms, Frank, no doubt, is Tank's toughest opponent. 100%, Rick Timms. Shakita Holmes, how did Ryan win tonight? You mean last night? He won by majority decision. But more importantly than how what he won, like as far as winning majority decisions, how he's won, he really showed a lot of dominance in the way he did it. And also Devin Haney showed a lot of holes in his game plan that he needs to work out as well. Let's see. Frank is no tune-up, but for sure for Tank, they have similar fighting styles, but I think Tank is just a few miles above Frank skill-wise. I think that's fair to say. Ross Clot, Frank Martin last fight didn't show any threat that he can beat Tank. Ross Clot, I hear you, but Frank Martin's last fight was probably one of his most lackluster fights, right? So, styles make fights. And those Eastern Europeans, they present a lot of adversity. People sleep on them. There was a point in time when they weren't really inside of the in the boxing rankings in the proper way because of communism and all that stuff. So we really didn't get a chance to see them the way we can see them now. And the more and more we see Eastern Europeans in the game, the more and more they're becoming factors. You look at Bahochuk in the middleweight division. Or what is that? That's the middleweight division, right? No, 154. Sorry, 154. What, junior middleweight, right? Super welterweight division. You see, obviously we look at Triple G. You look at Better Biev. You look at Dmitry Bivol. These fighters are Eastern European style fighters, and they bring a lot of intangibles to the ring. So that fighter who Frank Martin was fighting against presented a lot of issues for Frank Martin. And sometimes just because we don't know the fighter, we feel like he had a lackluster performance against this unknown fighter. All of a sudden, he's not all that he's cracked up to be. You know what I mean? So we got to be fair about that. Let's see here for the giveaway. I can use a C note for sure. Let's get this. Let's get the live up to 50 people in here, bro. And I'm gonna hand somebody a C note, bro. I'm gonna hand somebody a C note for showing up here. We're gonna do something random for the chat. That's for sure. J Cash the Money Man, boxing first always. Salute. Definitely, man. Hope you guys are all hitting the like button. How are we looking here? Man, we got 39 people in here, man. Come on, man. Let's get those likes up. Let's match how many people are up in here. Let's see here. Facts, James Silver. I'm assuming I said something of some sustenance. You said facts. Ross Cloud, oh, fuck it. Who in the blank chat got Frank Martin winning? Put y'all answers up. Ross Cloud just doesn't believe. Ross Cloud, who did you think was going to win? Ryan Garcia or Devin Haney last night? Put that up in the chat. Who do you think was going to win? Devin Haney will be back with a different game plan in the rematch. Oh, 100%, Dave Boots. And I think people have to acknowledge that Devin is capable of making adjustments. Devin was winning rounds in that fight against Ryan Garcia. However you guys want to look at it, round for round, I think Devin Haney was up on rounds. Point-wise, because of all those knockdowns, is where I believe that Ryan Garcia won that fight convincingly at. As far as whooping Devin Haney's ass, he whooped it properly. He whooped that ass last night, right? But Devin Haney wasn't shut out per se, like let's say arguably a Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence and that type of situation. So Devin Haney can most definitely make adjustments to make this fight way more competitive and yes, even walk away with the win against Ryan Garcia. 100%. I'll put my money on Frank, and it's a gamble, but good gamble. Yeah, Kyle, listen, Ryan Garcia was a good gamble last night, and I ain't make no money on that. You know what I mean? Bah humbug. Because my son was sitting here right next to me saying with those odds on Ryan Garcia, he wanted to put like 500. You know what I mean? We can put a little 500 on it. We could lose the 500. We can afford to lose the 5, but you know what I mean? But we walking away with like 3 bands off that 5 or whatever that math would have been. That'd have been a good look for us last night. And Ryan Garcia was a good bet last night, not only because he won the fight, but because of that left hook. Once again, the internet gets in your head and you don't see how he can win this fight, right? That left hook was there. If the longer the fight went, the higher chance and probability that he was going to connect with that left hook. To have odds, I think he was like a plus 550 or plus 600. I don't know what it was. Yeah, man. A lot of people made a lot of money last night with Ryan Garcia, who was able to see past the smoke, or as the OGs would say, see the woods through the forest. Let's see here. Anonymous. The Tank fans better hope he doesn't lose. I'm seeing a pattern. Okay. Anonymous. He says T.O., Hitchens, Josh Taylor, Barbosa. Look, Anonymous, I hear you, man. And I was having a conversation with my brother, Frequent Flyer, earlier today, and I said, if Tank were to lose against Frank Martin, would that reinstate, you know what I mean, balance in the boxing universe or the Marvel universe, right? What if Tank loses. You know what I mean? And I don't want to wish Tank a loss, but it does make him human again, right? Because right now he's not even human. He's like a superhero, like, you know what I'm saying? Like who's that character? He's like Thanos. He's like, you know what I mean? He got the glove, and he's just this dude who's above all reproach and above all scrutiny. But at the end of the day, if he takes his L, does it make all the fights that we want to see way more realistic? Do we see him fighting Shakur way quicker? Do we see him fighting Devin Haney way quicker? Do we see him fighting Lomachenko? Do we see him fighting the fights we want way quicker? You know what I'm saying? Do we see better fights if he's not above all the great fights happening? I don't know. Hoodrich says, y'all ain't seen nothing yet. I keep hearing about it. Kyle Porter expect Tank to win. Also expected Devin to win. Yeah, Kyle. That's why I asked that question to Roscott. Come on chat. Who got Frank Martin winning? Shakita, deal hasn't been made. Lucky Ryan has it knockout in the first round. Okay, Roscott, let's go. People who think, oh, he gonna keep pushing that. These Haney fans hot. Yeah, I think they are hot, bro. They are hot. Hopefully Tank don't implement a weight clause. Well, as long as he's the A side and he could do whatever he wants. Let's be honest. I hope he wouldn't do it too, though. Hoodrich says Tank, Rick James, Tank over everybody, 140 and under. I can't argue with Rick James. I can't argue with you. I think it's very realistic. I do think Shakur still provides Tank his biggest competition, and Shakur can beat Tank. But I do think Tank beats Shakur, if that makes any sense. Take that for what it's worth. I think Shakur is still a big factor. Dave Butts, any given night can happen in boxing. 100% Dave Butts, anything can happen. Roscott, where y'all Frank Martin fans at? You going Roscott riding this Frank Martin way. He want to hear about this. He trying to fry somebody. You know what I'm about to do though, right? You know I'm about to throw the link up in the chat in a minute. I've been running for about. By the way, how am I doing, guys? Can I get a thumbs up if I'm doing okay tonight or today? I'm by myself. Shout out to Ray Davis. Happy birthday to his beautiful wife. They're having a day out for her birthday. You know, Ray Davis is doing the right thing. He being a good husband and a good father, a good man. Shout out to Ray Davis out there. Hope you guys are enjoying yourselves wherever you are out there. Hope you guys are doing it big. Hoodrich, y'all put y'all house on Frank. Get ready to be homeless. I like where I live, Hoodrich. I'm pretty good. I got a family too that depends on me keeping my house, so I'm gonna keep my money in my pocket. And I'll take your advice on that, Hoodrich. I'll leave that alone. The boxing novice, I'm here. Dev keeping that belt is crazy. Wow. Shout out to the boxing novice. Yeah, I think it's weird. How do you guys feel about Devin Haney still being the WBC super lightweight champion, taking a beating like he did last night? You know, this was kind of the scenario that I looked at when Sebastian Fundora and Tim Tszyu fought. And I said to myself, when Sebastian Fundora was getting ready to fight Keith Thurman, I remember saying to myself, if Keith Thurman beats Sebastian Fundora in this catchweight fight, how does that look for Tim Tszyu to still be walking around a WBO champion at 154 pounds? I mean, clearly it wasn't a title fight, but does that take away any value from that title? Do we respect him as a champion, being that it was a catchweight fight with somebody who was coming up from 147 pounds to fight him in the catchweight at 155? So maybe this is not exactly the same thing, but still, being that the way Devin Haney lost last night, how do you guys feel about Devin Haney walking around as a WBC super lightweight champion still putting himself in contention for unification fights and everything like that? You know what I mean? I don't know. You guys tell me what kind of perspective that puts on it. Devin Haney ain't a champ, dude. Got his ass whooped. Free smoke. Well, dude got his ass whooped, but unfortunately, Free Smoke, he is the WBC champion. That's real. Oh, we are 50 people in the building. Salute, 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 bro. Shout out to everybody. You know that. So I am getting ready to do a giveaway. I'm gonna do it the same way I did it last night. Guys. I'm gonna actually put a number. Let me see. I'm gonna write this number down on my phone. Right? Go to the updated comments. What do you mean? Definitely should be vacated. Hold on one second here. Let me write this number down. Okay. Okay, I got the number. You guys, it's going to be between 1 and 50. Guys, put your numbers in there. Not more than one number, guys. So I don't want to see 10, 20, 68. I want to see one number in there, and whoever gets closest to the number, I'm going to shoot you guys a hundo. Somebody going to get cashed out $100. One hundo. It's coming to somebody. Go ahead. I'm looking at it. Ooh, the numbers. You guys are thinking very similarly to each other. I can tell you one of you guys are damn near on the number already. One of you guys are damn near there. Damn near there. I'm gonna give it a minute because we got like 48 people in the building. Okay. And one of you guys is super close, bro. One of you guys are ooh. We got some guys up in here. Hold on a second, man. Let's see. One try only, Kyle. One try, man. I'm keeping an eye on you guys. One try. Keep going with the damn numbers. Keep going. You know what I mean? Fuck you, Kyle. Oh, man. Hold on a second. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, if you do two numbers, I'm disqualifying you. So if I see you got two numbers, I'm disqualifying you because you're making it hard for me, bro. So you better not put two numbers in there. I'm telling you right now. You're going to feel stupid, too. Stop doing the two numbers. I'm telling you. If you already did two numbers, you already played yourself. I'm letting you know right now. Let me see. Keep going. Oh, man. Yo, Hood Rich, bro. You put in two numbers. You guys are making my job hella hard, bro. Why y'all playing with me, bro? Let me see. Let me go back up here. Nope. I'm keeping an eye on you. If you did more than one number, I'm telling you, you're not going to be in it. Let me see. You guys are making it hard for me. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not doing it like this next time. This is hard. I'm going to do it a different way next time. This is hard, bro. Yeah, maybe I'm going to do a trivia question next time, Kyle, because you guys, this ended up being harder than I thought it was going to be. This ended up being real complicated. This ended up being a little complicated for me, bro. Let me see here. I'm pretty much sure I got the winner already. I'm not going to lie to you. One of you guys got the numbers right on the head, but you wrote more than one number down. I can't give it to you, bro. It's sad, but I can't give it to you. When you see this number, it's going to make your stomach turn. When you guys hit the number right on the head, bro. Okay. Is that everybody? I'm gonna give one more minute. One more minute, and then I'm done. I'm closing it off, and I'm gonna get to doing this. 1 minute timer. Put it at 45 seconds. 45 seconds. Let's go. Of course I have a son. Who the fuck is this truck dude? Don't make me ban you, bro. Don't make it weird. Brother. I'm telling you. Don't make it weird. I give you that advice. Take it for whatever it's worth. Whatever it's worth to you, brother. We'll see how you carry it. It's all in your oh yeah, truck, he's definitely not part of it. Yeah, he playing games. Matter of fact, I ain't gonna hold you, bro. You playing games with me. I really ain't got time for that stupidity, bro. There we go. All right. So let me go to who I know. That's crazy. All right. Let's see. Let's go. Off the eyeball. I already know who it is. I'm doing a double check right now before I say your name. I'm doing one double check right quick before I say your name. before I say your name. All right. All right. All right. I know who it. Oh, wait. Yup. Okay. Same number. Very good. I almost thought it was over for you, but you used the same number. All right. I got the winner. Are you guys ready? Early. Rick Tims. That was so. My number was. Make sure the number was, by the way. You can see the number. So you can see the number. Y'all see the number, right? Y'all see the number, right? And you know who it is who got the number. Somebody hit the number right on nail, but you went in there throwing mad numbers and they're making it hard for me. You got yourself disqualified. You know you got the number. You know who you were. You had the number. You was playing games. You know who it was. But Rick Tims with 33. I don't get closer to 34 than 33. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Free Smoke. You was good, bro. You was good early too. You was early. You was first. You said it first. And then you mentioned, yeah, but Hood Rich, you put a whole bunch of numbers in there, man. You made it hard for me. Y'all gonna stop playing with me, bro. Yo, Rick Tims, do me a favor, bro. Go to my Instagram and actually, you see the Cash App. Hold on one second. There's my Cash App, Rick Tims. Put a request in there for the $100. Put a request in there right now, and I'm gonna send it right over to you. Throw that request in there. You know how to do that? I'm assuming you do. If you don't, let me know. We'll find out another way to get it to you. But if you do, that would make it a lot easier for me if you would just go ahead and hit my Cash App up there and put a request in there. And I'll make sure I send that right over to you, man. I appreciate you guys showing up to the channel. Shout out Rick Tims, you know what I'm saying, for showing up to the channel. I told you there's something to gain here, right? You walk away with something. How many of your content creators letting y'all walk away with a little something, you know what I'm saying? And wait till we hit, when I start hitting 100 in the live, I'm going to be giving away 500. I didn't know that. All right. I'm going to be giving away 500 when that happens. When we hit 100 people up in the live, I will be doing that. But I'm going to come out with a way better way to doing this. That was hard. Let me tell you something. Keeping up with all them numbers, I'm glad I did that at 50, because if that had been at 100 or more than 100 people in here, I think I would have lost it. I would have had to renege like crazy on you guys. I had to renege like crazy on you guys. So you have a Zelle, my Cash App was suspended. You damn criminal. Of course I got a Zelle, brother. If you have my Instagram, I'm trying to think what the best way, because I don't know if I want to put my information on the internet, Rick. If you want to go to my Instagram. You have Instagram, right, Rick? You got Instagram? G-Man King, the next giveaway will probably be on my next live. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to do one every live pretty much. As long as we hit the numbers that we need to hit, I'm gonna do the giveaway, but I'm gonna do it in a better way. But yo, did you answer me, Rick Tims? Do you have my Instagram? Huh? Oh, but I don't want to give my Gmail either. I don't want to get spammed. I got so many people who hate me out here, bro. I do not want to put my email up here. Yup, good. Go to my Instagram, Rick Tims, and give me your Zelle information, and I'll send it right over. So Claymore Rain. It's Claymore Rain on Instagram. And don't be scared to subscribe either to my Instagram. You filthy animals. Definitely, let me see. Okay, I think I might have you in here. Bed-Stuy started following me. Shout out to Bed-Stuy. Yeah, I'm waiting to see you pop up. As soon as I see you pop up in here, I'll let you know we popped up. Segue into the next part of this conversation. Let me see. J Cash, I DM'd you a link for to watch live sports a few weeks ago. I don't think you ever opened it. Nah, J Cash, I probably didn't. I gotta look at it. Let me see. And if you guys don't know this about me, I'm technologically stupid. God bless my wife and my son and my friends who keep me up to speed on that. So if you ever send me a message through Instagram or some form of like Twitter or something like that, and I don't answer you, I'm not acting sedity. I don't think I'm all that. I really just don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Salute to you guys for your patience with me. But eventually, as soon as I see it, I address it. So eventually I'll be great just like you guys, and I'll be answering all these things like anyway. Wanted to segue into the next part of this conversation as well. Terrence Crawford, Israel Madrimov. A lot of people thought that wasn't going to happen. There were rumors out there about, you said no more G-Man King? Things change so fast. So is that not happening anymore? Just check your request on L. It's all good, bro. I appreciate you. I appreciate your patience, Jay Cash Money. Appreciate your patience on that. Rick, man, go ahead, hit that Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Don't make me forget. Well, I'm not going to forget. I got it written here. I'm not going to act like I'm going to forget. I'm really not going to. But I do need you to meet me halfway and follow up on sending that to Instagram. Send me your Zelle information. Yeah, so Terrence Crawford, Israel Madrimov, what we're looking at right now. And I'm about to throw the link as well. Throw the link as well inside the chat. But a lot of people were thinking that PBC was going to block Terrence Crawford. And I'll be honest with you, I'm split as far as my perspective on as to whether or not PBC is purposely attacking or trying to block Terrence Crawford from getting things done. I think there's arguments on either side of the field. As far as one argument clearly can be made that the PBC has seemed to be putting. Check out G. Okay, I got something here. Lil Rick the third, sweet. Follow you back. Open it up. Did you send me something in here? Let me see. Okay, I got you. I followed you back, Rick. I don't see any message from you though yet. So go ahead and send me your Zelle information, and I'll send you that. I'll send you that right out. You know what I'm saying? Send me that Zelle information, and I'll send that out to you. So I'm waiting on you. I'm waiting on you. Rick Timms, Clay, check IG. I see it right there. So send me a message with that info, and I'll get it right out to you. Okay, brother? So a lot of people, there were arguments on both sides of that to say that maybe PBC is presently purposely trying to block that Terrence Crawford wanting to come up in the 154 division, become a champion, and pursue his, looks like he's pursuing some sort of unification or undisputed title contention in that weight class division. But what I will say is this: Turki Alalshikh has brought another point to this game. He's brought something else to this game. People who know and followed me outside of this platform here, who have seen me on other platforms, take that for whatever you want it. You guys understand how much hell and heat I've caught over this Turki Alalshikh topic, and what he actually brings to the game, his ability to facilitate the best fighting the best, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I think it's kind of refreshing, in my opinion, to see Terrence Crawford being able to go around this whole entire PBC this whole situation that Terrence Crawford's been in, trying to get fights done. And, it seems like everybody's always putting pressure on Terrence Crawford to do the only thing he can do, right? Which is what? Sign to the PBC. Sign to the PBC if you want your career to get better. You want the fights you want. How you going to get it done? You got to sign to the PBC. If you're not under the umbrella, you're going to get wet. If you're not part of the family, like some people would say, you know what I'm saying, you're going to be outside of the family. And the PBC looks like they're trying to push that home. Some people also feel like the PBC may be doing that as tactics to get Terrence Crawford to come over there, right? Like, they're not hating Terrence Crawford, but what they're actually doing is cornering Terrence Crawford, because what they really want to do is they want to do business with Terrence Crawford, but they want to do the business in a certain capacity. They want to have him locked down to 2 to 3 fights. They want him only fighting fighters under their banner. And Terrence Crawford clearly has other aspirations for his career. He doesn't like the idea of being chained to one promotional company. He wants to be able to make fights across the table, like a Devin Haney does, for example. And he's looking for some flexibility, and he doesn't see that with the PBC. Maybe Jerron Ennis may also share that same mind state as well, and other fighters who have left the PBC and have gone over to the DAZN sign, whether it be Golden Boy, whether it be Matchroom, whether it be Top Rank. Well, Top Rank's not DAZN, but you guys get the point. Big fight looks like it's been locked in Los Angeles as well. Turki Alalshikh looking like he's making his first presence known in the States, and also going into the lower weights. So the question becomes, this Turki Alalshikh movement that's moving forward, and looks like getting that Turki has an interest. Turki was also last night at the fight between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, making his acquaintance with Boots Ennis and other people in the boxing space. And where people thought that Turki Alalshikh was only going to focus his energy on heavyweights and maybe cruiserweights as well, it seems like he's opening up the whole entire spectrum up. Light heavyweight now with David Benavidez, offering David Benavidez a fight with the winner better be even Bivol. Now into the junior middleweight division with Terrence Crawford and Israel Madrimov, and potentially now looking like in the 147-pound weight class division with Jaron Ennis. It looks like he's just growing and growing and growing his interest in boxing. People are split down the middle about how they feel about his presence. Some people feel like it's a danger to boxing as we know it in America, and other people feel like it's the savior that boxing's been needed, that boxing's needed this guy who can come in and overstand the thick boundaries and lines that are put in the sand between promotional companies like PBC, Matchroom, Top Rank, Golden Boy, Gold Star, Queensberry. It goes on and on and on, right? All these different promotional companies, and we as fans seem to be having suffered in the past coming years with seeing these fights happening. It seems like Turki Alalshikh brings potentially some sort of solution to it. Anonymous says, yeah, Turki is good for boxing. For sure, man. I'm in the same space as you, Anonymous. I definitely feel the same way. Shout out to Kyle Porter. I think when Tank loses, the channel we all met through will slowly become non-existent. It's too biased and won't sustain long-term based on apparent catering to a specific fighter. Hey, Kyle, man, I understand where you're coming from with that. Boxing first, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, this channel right here is in its infant stages. I hope to see this channel grow into a huge space to where everybody can come together. And I mean this in the bottom of my heart. My actions will always speak louder than my words. So don't let me just tell you, allow me to show you as time goes by. But it's something about having a space to where we can build on boxing, come together in a respectful way. Too many grown men in this space to be calling each other out their names and speaking to each other as if there's no consequence. Sometimes that face-to-face goes dismissed, right? The ability to slap the shit out of somebody who's talking crazy to you and being protected inside and behind this little box called a camera here and being safe in your home gives people a lot of leeway to really talk very, very recklessly to each other. And as men, we're just not built to speak to each other or to receive information that way. We're violent by nature. You know what I'm saying? I had a friend of mine who did about 15 years in prison and came out, and he said to me one of the biggest things he had an issue with when he came out of prison was dealing with the disrespect. He said there's more respect in prison than there is out in these streets, and he was having a hard time, people bumping into you, not saying excuse me. And he came from a space where everything was built in respect, right? Everything in that side of that prison was built on respect. You'll die for saying something crazy about somebody or stepping on their shoes or showing any kind of disrespect to where he has to defend his honor to keep his livelihood inside that prison space open. He just had a real hard time and really became a hermit of a person, somebody who really stayed home a lot and didn't like going out because he was fearful every day of going back to prison, right? Because of him having to, put his hands on somebody, because he literally almost had like a PTSD almost type of reaction to acclimating back into the world where respect is not needed. It's not put there the way it's supposed to be. And I just don't think it's natural for us to go into spaces to where any given Sunday somebody could be talking about your mother, calling you a bitch, calling you anything they feel like calling you, and you have no way of really reacting. And what are we doing? Sharing addies? We're going to buy plane tickets to go fight each other, et cetera, right? So I want to keep that space alive and available for us to talk about the sport we love, gladiators getting it in, and we don't have to sit there and break each other down the way I see things happening on other platforms. What I'm going to do is absolutely people's respect levels are discussing nowadays, especially on the internet, 100%. Kyle Porter, let me see here. Started following you. I'm trying to see if you sent me that information, Rick. Got you, Rick. I'm on it right now. Guys, give me a second. Let me do this for Rick, for Rick Timms right now. Give me 1 second, guys. I got to find a better way to do this too. I think I'm going to start mailing you guys out like cash and stuff. Transfer send. Zelle. Bear with me, guys. I really appreciate your patience. Send. Add. Let's go ahead and copy paste that. Boom. Let's do this. Copy. Let's do that. Let's go back here. Hit that. If that doesn't work, I might have to write it down. Okay. Boom. 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 Enrolled with Zell. Rick, I'm not going to say your last name. Send. Continue. Thanks. Let's just make sure we sent the right amount here. Yes, we did. Send. You're authorizing payment to someone new. Yeah, he cool. Let's see. Go through. One moment. And round and round and round we go. Yeah, you feel that, right, Rick? You know how that is. You know what I'm saying? It says I gotta wait till you accept the message invite. Okay, but I have it, but it's doing this circle thing. It's taking a while. Shout out to Oscar De La Coca, Mazuma Nation. Salute to Mazuma Nation for sure, man. A lot of inspiration from Mark Mazuma to Mark Lando, to be honest with you, his name. I don't know. Should I put his government out there? I probably was out of pocket for doing that. But a lot of inspiration from Mazuma Nation for putting this channel together. Helped me out a lot. Damn, Rick, this is taking a long time to go through. I don't know what's going on. I'm just going to wait it out. But you see, I'm waiting on it to go through. But you see what it's doing. You know what I'm saying? You see it, right? Okay. It's taking some time. Let's give it some time.
You want payday? I know
that. Right. So you know what I'm going to do, actually? I don't know if anybody feels like coming up here to talk, but we're going to do that. But yeah, Turki Alalshikh in the space, man. You know, I don't want to say I called it because it's not about me calling it, right? It's not about me calling it, okay? But we have to understand that when we're dealing with boxing in the way that I see it, how boxing has been for the past couple of years, and the lack of actual the fights that we want to see happening, dude, I don't know. I'm just going to put that up there like that for right quick. Let me just check here. Yo, shout out to Kyle Shepard in the building, man. Gonna go quick. Pause. Salute to Kyle Porter. I appreciate the support, man. I really do appreciate it, man. And we just building up this little cash app right here, trying to get bread. And we're gonna do so many upgrades in here. I think in the next month and a half, you guys are about to see this whole channel go in a whole different direction. Not only in followership, but you about to see. I'm about to get a phone number so people can call in on the phone number. So hopefully attract some interaction with people from all other countries, as well as all around America, people who aren't necessarily comfortable with just putting their face on here. I'm going to upgrade a whole lot of things. I don't want to tell y'all everything, but thank you for the support, because this goes to helping all that come together full circle. Yo, Rick, did that come through to you? Yo, this thing is doing something weird. I don't want to end it. I don't want to end it because I don't want it to, I don't know. Maybe I should just end it and start it over again. Let's give it a shot. Let's do this. Let's open it back up. Let's see what happens. This is kind of awkward. Let me see. Salute to Kenny Perry in the building. Oh, it looks like it went out, Rick. It looks like it went out. Rick, give me a confirmation if you received that or not. Please, por favor. Let me see here. Let me see. Activity. Yeah, it went out to you, Rick. It definitely went out to you. Oh, you said thanks. No, I said thanks. Check it out, Rick. Rick Timms. Check it out, please, and make sure that it went over there for you. I appreciate you, brother. Shout out Kenny Perry in the building. Never met you before. Please, guys, hit the like buttons when you guys come in the building. Let's get the likes up. And please, subscribe if you haven't done it already. I appreciate you guys. The link is in the chat if you feel like coming in. But Turki Alalshikh, not trying to predict the future and be the guy who called it, because I didn't call it, His Excellency. You guys remember that conversation? Please, can you messengers and Facebook? Good afternoon, Combat World. Yeah, see, here comes one of the minions. You know what I'm saying? Here comes one of the minions in the chat. You can hang out though, Combat World. That's what's up. Actually, I do have to get some presence in Facebook with the messengers. I plan on doing that. So look for do that. Yeah, you praying on my downfall, Combat World? Okay, all right. Well, I heard an old saying, an OG once told me about people who pray for your downfall. It's really blessings in disguise. You know what I'm saying? God usually responds to that in the weirdest way. So I'm not mad at you, bro. You ain't doing it right if you ain't got haters, man. I appreciate your the attention you bring to the channel. You know what you could do for me, though, while you're sitting there doing all that hating? Feel free to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button on your way out, or if you're hanging in, you can participate in some boxing conversations. But I appreciate you, Combat World. You know what I mean? Believe it or not. You know what I mean? Believe it or not. But yeah, you guys remember the intention that. Thank you very much, Clay. Oh, no problem, Rick Thames. Thank you for confirming that you got it, man. Salute to you, brother. I appreciate you showing up to the channel and giving this this content a shot, and hopefully something resonates with you. But yeah, Turki Alalshikh, you know what I'm saying? Bringing that breath of fresh air into the game and giving us an opportunity to see great things happening. And, you know, some fighters and a lot of fighters are starting to recognize that. I've heard rumors in the background that I'm not going to bring to the table now about potential fighters that we're going to be looking at working with the zone, working with, you know, because of Turki Alalshikh and the potential fights that are going to come out of that. I'll digress because I don't want to get hit with putting out false narratives. But just to say that at the end of the day, Turki's bringing a whole another page to this game. And the idea of people trying to discredit that man, call him a YouTuber, or try to compare him to relatives and their families and saying that he's no more influential than their cousin who has a YouTube channel or whatever have you. It's honestly disgusting, to be honest with you, but it's also the super false narrative in this boxing space. And a super false narrative is that there's only one way to do good business in boxing. There's only one promotional company that you should be working under, and all other promotional companies have to bend the knee to this one promotional company or one fighter. That is the real false narrative in boxing. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Let's see, Kyle Porter, he made you shake my head, stupid humans. He maybe motivated you to do your own thing, where all talk is welcome and not cheating biased narratives. 100%, man. Motivation was definitely part of it. You know what I mean? But whatever it might be, you know what I mean? Sue me, right? You know how to do that, right? So if there's something there, if there's something tangible there in reference to you taking, you know what I'm saying, some kind of props for me doing this, then, you know, let the documentation close out all the conversation, or shut the fuck up. Let's see here. Clay, best thing you did was coming after the dev loss. That dissociates you from cowering to a single scheme. Transparent channel. Thank you, Ordinary M. Thank you. Thank you. Turkey's no prince. Oh, you remember, right? Worldwide Boxing. You remember, don't you? Yeah, Turkey's no prince. And Turki isn't a prince. And I've never pushed that narrative that he was a prince. In all honesty, if people want to do their research and go and do their due diligence and look into the archives of certain content spaces, you'll see me actually correcting a certain content creator who called him a prince and actually had to put him on game and let him know that he wasn't a prince, that he's actually just his excellency, that there's actually a separate prince and king of Saudi Arabia. But regardless, the whole point of calling him his excellency wasn't to refer to his royalty or that he was better than you, but it was just recognizing and respecting a title that he had in his country, but more importantly, recognizing his abilities to facilitate the biggest fights we want to see, and advising any big boxers who aren't satisfied with the money that they're getting, who want to make the big fights. If Turki rings your phone, you might want to answer it. It might not be what you want. It might not be what you need. You might have to walk away, but mess around in this crazy world we're looking at. He might be offering you the biggest bag that you've ever gotten, and also offering the fans that who are paying to watch you fight an opportunity to see you fight the best fighters in the world. I've heard of crazier things happening, but fuck it. I say pick up the phone. You never know. Let's see. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. You'd have thought he know him. You'd have thought he know him. Maybe Turki knows. Let me not say nothing crazy. Let me not say nothing crazy. You can't play boxing, but Bud Cheddar, the sport will eventually expose who you really are. Bud Cheddar, I agree with you. Shout out to Bernard Hopkins, who made that statement super famous. That is true, man. It's important to see the best fight the best, man. Because what the fan base has to recognize is that we really don't know who the best is until we see them fight the best. Until that happens, you never know. You know, even with Tank Davis, who I give a lot of respect to and I think is one of the pound-for-pound best fighters in the world, the reality is until he checks certain boxes and fights certain fighters, we're just going to be operating on the face, on the face test, right? We're going to look at it. On the eyesight test, we're going to see the talent, and we're going to make assumptions in our mind of how this fighter goes and how this fighter goes. But until we actually see them fight each other, we don't know, right? And neither is that fighter, because he can't act like he fought somebody he didn't fight. So much respect and love for Tank Davis. And it's hard to, get in these conversations and not sound like you're hating on him, especially with people who are willing to magnify and paint false narratives around the words that you're saying so that it can look like you're doing that. But the reality is, I'm no different than any other fan. Even the Tank fans can't tell me. I'm waiting for a Tank fan who's going to come and tell me they don't want to see him fight Devin Haney. They don't want to see him fight Shakur Stevenson. They don't want to see him fight Lomachenko. I'm waiting for those fans to come out and say those words instead of making it look like you sitting here asking to see these fights makes you a hater. I want them to counteract the actual topic and conversation and say, don't nobody want to see Tank fight Shakur. Man, ain't nobody trying to see Tank fight no damn Devin Haney. Yo, Teofimo and Tank, who want to see that stupid fight? Why aren't we saying stuff like that? You know what I mean? Let's have real conversations and real arguments, you know what I'm saying, about what's going on instead of trying to paint boxing fans into corners because they're asking to see certain fights to paint them as haters of those fighters who they want to see in certain fights. Let's see if that, at least if we can debate on something real, let's debate about how I want to see a certain fight and you can discredit them on why we shouldn't see the fight. Instead of trying to paint this picture that I'm putting too much pressure on your favorite fighter, and because of that, I'm a hater of that fighter, or a phallic rider of another fighter. Let's see. Tank destroyed Ryan, the C-class fighter, and Ryan exposed Dev. So some boxes were checked for Tank last night. Well, Bud Cheddar, can I push back at you a little bit, Bud? Do you mind if I push back at you? Will it turn real ugly? Will I be a hater if I push back on what you just said right there? Let's give it a shot. Let me push back at it a little bit. I'm going to say that I understand where you're coming from, but I think just as much legitimacy comes out of Tank for beating Ryan from last night. I think it's also fair to say if Ryan Garcia couldn't fight at 140 pounds and not be depleted to fight against a Devin Haney, who quote unquote has pillow fist, I think it's fair to say that Ryan Garcia at 136 pounds with a rehydration clause may have depleted Ryan Garcia to the point to where we didn't see Tank fight a fully the worst version of Ryan Garcia that he could have fought. Argument wise, we all can go in different directions with this, right? Because when you see how dominant Ryan Garcia was against Devin Haney last night, and you saw how dangerous he really was, and you saw that he fought at a catch weight and he couldn't even make 140 pounds, some might argue because of last night's results that Ryan Garcia has a legitimate argument to saying that the only reason that fight turned out that way is because he was depleted. And not to make excuses for him, but just to say arguments can go in multiple different directions, right? 100%, Bud Cheddar, once you step in the ring, all excuses leave conversations, though. 100%, bro. Let's never let that go on the radar. We're not going to pick that in any kind of way. You did it right on the nail, brother. That is very, very true. No excuses, but sometimes there are factors that we can take into consideration, right? The argument could be made that the Ryan Garcia that Tank Davis fought is not the same Ryan Garcia that Devin Haney fought. You know what I mean? So just to connect the dots and say, because we saw what Ryan Garcia did with Devin Haney last night, doesn't necessarily make what happened between him and Tank Davis that much more solid. When you have a fighter letting it be known that, he couldn't make the weight for whatever, you know what I mean? Let's see. Kyle Porter says, I'm not a fanboy of any boxer. Okay, he's talking to somebody in the chat, right? I don't know if you want me to read that. I put 500 on Ryan Garcia to win 2,500 early. That's what the number was, 2,500. There it is, 2,500, bro. I thought it was 2,500, $3,000, and I did not put the money up, Kyle. You are super smart for that, bro. I'm mad. I'd have been real mad if I'd have sent you $100, by the way, knowing you won all that damn money last night. I'm going broke over here, and you're over here making money hand over fist. Let's see. J Cash, the money man, says also if the fight was at 140 or no rehydration clause, Ryan possibly wins or gets a draw against Tank. That's what I'm saying, J Cash, the money man. If we're going to argue these things and we're going to try to use triangle theories to make sense of what we're looking at, we need to make sure that we're comparing apples to apples, right? Oranges to oranges. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of triangle theories. I'm gonna be honest with you. But if you're going to use a triangle theory in a conversation, I'm going to ask that it be apples to apples and oranges, right? Because there's different chapters. You know, that's like saying, oh, this guy beat a fighter who only had 5 wins. And, you know, another fighter, that fighter with 5 wins beat when he was 30-0. It's 2 different fighters. Just because he beat this fighter who had that much experience at 30 wins doesn't mean he was that same fighter who took a loss when he was at 5 wins, right? We got to do apples to apples, oranges to oranges, weight classes, everything counts. Everything needs to be taken into consideration. I think at the end of the day, we keep giving Tank Davis his credit for doing what he did with Ryan Garcia. We also give Ryan Garcia credit for taking that chance and daring to be great and putting himself in a compromised position. He took a loss, but he took a dare also to be great because of the adversity he put himself in and the position he put himself into. And we keep that separate from what Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia did last night. That's how I would put it together, but, you know, whatever. Anyway, let's see here. I agree. I think that Canelo, then Spence fanboys are the worst to speak with. Any criticism hurts their souls. Yeah. Tank still doesn't get that much credit. He drained Ryan and put a rehydration clause on him. I'm telling you. Let's see. Bud Cheddar says, don't accept the fighter or step in the ring because excuses are unacceptable. Once you step in the ring, you're expected to perform. 100% Bud Cheddar. I'm going to keep on because that is a factor right there, right? But the only reason I push back on what you said is because you were kind of using like a triangle theory approach to say that the results last night made Tank Davis's victory even more impressive. And I don't necessarily know if I would agree with that. I think Tank Davis's victory was his victory. It was impressive on the merits of how that fight was put, on the stipulations that was agreed upon on how that fight would go. Tank Davis doesn't lose any credibility. Some people might say he does, but I'm not going to say that. But I'm not going to say it becomes more credible because of the fight that Devin Haney had last night with a Ryan Garcia who's at 143.5 pounds, rehydrated, had a better trainer, wasn't coming off of a layoff or, you know, fighting smaller fighters, wasn't depleted in weight. I don't think it's the same apples to apples, orange to orange comparisons. Let me see. Kyle Porter, facts. Dev faced a better version of Ryan, more experienced, not drained. Possibly, Kyle, right? We've heard crazier things, right, Kyle? Crazier things. You never know. Good point, Rick Timms. Thank you. And I know it wasn't because of that $100 that you give me props, Rick Timms. I know it's not. Kyle Porter, shout out. Let's see. Freaking Flyer. People be quick to try to give their favorite fighter credit for another fighter's work. Talk about it, Frequent Flyer. Talk about it, pause. Not my hero, but we'll see how that travels the internet in the next couple of days. Let's see. Kyle Porter, excuses can be valid if you don't want to hear it. Okay, but I think Ryan being weak at 136 with a rehydration clause is valid. If we're using the triangle theory, Kyle Porter, I think it's fair to say that. I do believe what Bud Cheddar said, though. At the end of the day, Ryan Garcia did sign the contract. He got in the ring. He agreed to the stipulations. The results were the results. We're not going to use that as an excuse to the point to where we're discrediting Tank. But once again, when we're talking about triangle theories, when we're talking about because of the results of one fight, it makes another fight more legitimate than it already is. At that point, the gloves come off. Everything can be put on a table. We can start to speak about all the intangibles. And I think if we speak about all the intangibles in those 2 fights happening, we'll see that there was 2 completely different fights going on for obvious reasons, not excuses, but actual, real, variable, tangible differences in the kind of fights I'll put out there. It doesn't make any sense to compare them to each other. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense to compare them to each other to that point. Let's see, Jay Cash the Money Man. I've never been a big fan of triangle theories either. We can't do that. I'll be honest with you. Some triangle theories can hold some legitimacy. I don't think any triangle theory holds 100% valid points, but some of them can be more comparable than others, right? For example, maybe like, and even that one has intangibles that we have to acknowledge. So I was actually going to bring Boots and his fight against Terrence Crawford, Boots beats Terrence Crawford. Does that mean Boots would beat up Errol Spence? I think that's a more legitimate argument, right? Although at the end of the day, Errol Spence was a compromise as well that night. We have to acknowledge that Errol wasn't 100% who we know him to be. No excuses made for Errol Spence to take away from Terrence Crawford's victory. But, the argument may be put out there that would 100% Errol Spence be the same Errol Spence that fought Terrence Crawford? Therefore, could we use a victory over Terrence Crawford to validate that Boots Ennis would more easily beat Errol Spence than he did a Terrence Crawford? You know what I'm saying? I hope I didn't confuse you guys. Sometimes I talk myself into a damn frenzy. Let's see here. Kyle Porter, word, styles make fights. G-Man King. Kyle, who you think has the worst fan base? I'm gonna be real with you. Tank fan base to me is the worst. I ain't gonna lie to you. Shout out to all the Tank fans in the world, but I do think like you got to watch what you say about that man, because they're like Beyonce fans, bro. The Beehive will come and get you from every part of the world, from every corner of the world. You will be torn apart. I used to think Errol Spence had the worst fans. You know what I mean? Because they're up there too sometimes. But no, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Tank Davis fans, woo. Look at that. We got a content creator right out there right nowadays. As soon as you say something about Tank, he'll come over there and he'll ask you to actually come fly out to his state and fight you. Big facts. He'll actually challenge you to come and fight him over this topic. So Tank has some real diehard fans. Shout out to those fans. I hope Tank is definitely giving those fans money. I hope he's taking care of them in some kind of way, because while Tank is chilling at his mansion, vibing out with some dime video model chick, he doesn't know that you got people out here putting their lives on the line for his honor. You got to respect that. Those fans right there, you got to respect those guys. And shout out to the fans of the content creators who do the same thing. All the minions who go around representing for their content creator and, you know, making sure the world knows that their content creator is better than another content creator. I pray to God that content creator you're defending and bringing to the table everywhere and spreading their name around the world like hot fire. I hope that content creator is shooting you some kind of money, a check, something, you know what I mean? Giving you an Airbnb to hit for the weekend, you know what I'm saying? Getting a bottle or two for you at the club, you know what I mean? Paying a light bill, keeping your cell phone on, something, a coupon to a McDonald's, you know what I'm saying? I'm hoping you're getting something from it, that you're not just doing it out of your own free will, just traveling the web, searching for anybody who you can promote your content creator to. I hope that's happening. Facts, fuck the triangle theories. These guys got to fight now. I ain't hearing none of that anymore. 100% anonymous, 100% Kyle Porter. It's like Pokemon. Water beats fire, but electric beats water. LOL. Took it back. Yeah, you did, Kyle, but you hit it on the nose. You hit it on the nose, Kyle, with that comparison. That's a fact. Let me keep going down, man. I'm missing out on so many of you guys. Let's see here. Rick Tim's Canelo has the worst fan base to me. Yo, Canelo's up there. Those Mexicans, let me tell you, shout out to the Mexican fan base, because they might be the most loyal boxing fan base in the space right now. I've had Mexicans come up on my channel under my videos and straight call me out for being black. Straight up. Say what I'm saying, because I'm black, you know what I'm saying? I never, you know, it gets racial with that fan base. And you know, I don't know how many Mexicans I get in my lives. I know I got a couple. I got TR. I don't know. I don't know if he's Mexican, but I don't know. I think he might be Mexican. I've got HLD. I've got Texas 16. I got a couple of people who I know are Mexican who fuck with me and understand that I'm just talking boxing. But the reality is I don't got a lot of people who follow me. And I think a lot of Mexicans stay off of black channels because of that. I think they take it real personal. So I feel you, Rick Timms. The Canelo fan base can get pretty extreme. I still hang my hat on Tank Davis fans. I think are the most extreme. Rocco McBride, Devin made a living fighting smaller guys on the back end of their careers. He didn't prepare himself to fight a guy like Ryan. Yeah, Rocco, I think I understand where you're coming from with that. I'm not going to say that he purposely did it, but I do believe that gets to a point to where you take what's there for you. And on that road to becoming an undisputed champion, you know, Devin had to fight certain fighters, and he couldn't let age get in the way of that. And, you know, Bill Haney and him having a big master plan on what they were going to do with Devin's career. And when you think about the fact that Devin Haney's just not that exciting of a fighter, like let's say Tank Davis, they had to take whatever was there for them. They didn't get, you know, an opportunity to fight whoever they wanted to take. But I think that's an inconvenient truth, right? The reality is some of the fighters that Devin Haney fought weren't the best competition, even the accolades. When you look at Kambosos, Kambosos wasn't the biggest competition that Devin Haney could have, but that was a necessary fight in order for him to become undisputed, right? That's who had the titles. We shouldn't disregard the fact that Devin Haney was actually looking to make the biggest fights, right? He's always been looking to fight Tank Davis. He was trying to make a fight with Teofimo Lopez to become undisputed. You saw what he went through. He tried to fight Lomachenko to become undisputed, and when Lomachenko was at its peak, not when he was older. He tried to make these big fights, and it was difficult for him to make those fights. So, it's true what you're saying, Rocco McGrath, but, just to put some context to it, just to say that it's not like he was cherry picking, right? Those things do happen. But I agree with you also that, the preparation in his career to fight a Ryan Garcia, a puncher, somebody who's as fast as Ryan Garcia is, somebody who brings in a variable that, is a wild card. You know what I mean? Like if he touches you with his left hand, it's going to be a bad night for you. I don't think any of the fights he went through prepared him properly to fight a Ryan Garcia. So I agree with you, Rocco. G-Man King, Kyle, you like Ryan. You put your money on it. Got to give you credit, 100%. Shout out to Kyle Porter. I wish you would have sent that kite over to me, Kyle. Like, yo. Put that money down like I had one of my panels for. Put that money down on Ryan so you can make some money. I wish you would have sent me a kite. Let me see here. J Cash the money man. Derrick James, yes, indeed, the Mexicans are the most loyal. I give that to them. They are super loyal, bro. The best fans in the world, bro. G-Man King said he got a 500%. Yeah, facts. I went with the rewarding bet, 100%. Butch had a cherry picking gone bad last night. That's all. The C-Class fighter fooled the fools. I wasn't cherry pick last night. I don't agree that was a cherry pick last night, but shout out to Ryan Garcia. Kyle Porter, I got bread on Frank too as soon as it's available on DraftKings. Okay. J Cash the money man, no putting this on Canelo fans. But his fanboys, anytime he has a fight or in every promotional chat room, just spewing racist shit about non-Mexican fighters. They even be frying Mexican Americans. Yeah, bro. The Mexican fans go hard, bro. They go hard, man. I'm telling you, Mexican fans of Canelo expose a part of the world that I've never seen before, right? I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm from New York. I've never seen blatant racism like I have from the Mexican fan base. I see stuff that I only hear about on TV and in movies. I didn't experience that. You know what I mean? Racism to me in New York was walking inside of a store with an owner and being looked at funny while I was shopping in the store, right? Or some white lady clenching her purse. You know what I'm saying? When I walk past her, or, those are kind of racist experiences I had. I've never actually been called an N-bomb from somebody, from another race. I've never actually been, I've never been addressed that way before. This fan base, Mexican fan base in boxing, this Canelo fan base has exposed me to a lot of that, bro. It's actually profound when you see it. It's like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie to you. Kyle Porter, my bad, Clay. I'll be more in tune with the channel. Thank you, Kyle Porter. I appreciate that, Kyle Porter. Thank you. Out here making all that money. Spread some love over here, man. I'm not living like that. I put money on the draw and Ryan by decision. So, Bud, you came up too a little bit. I'm a Loma fan, but I put money on Tio. That was a nice return too at the time. See, Kyle Porter got that eye. He got that all-seeing third eye, bro. Like he get past the scenes of it all, and he sees the upsets. He's making those big upset bets. That's why I need people like this in my community. I just need you to communicate with me a little more, Kyle. I like it that you're in the community, but I need you to, you know what I mean? I need us to have this thing going on a little bit more on these bets. Devin didn't just lose. He got beat the hell up. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did, Rocco. Yeah, he did, man. Look, beatings like that are either going to make you or break you, right, Rocco McGrath? Beatings like that are either going to break you or make you. So it's either going to break Devin, he's never going to be the same, or he's actually going to become an actual better fighter because of this. He's actually this experience could also level him up. That's why don't throw away your fighters because they lose, man. Don't throw them away, man. Everybody can't win, bro. Everybody can't be undefeated, man. That's not what this game is about, especially from a fan base. We got to be more supportive of these fighters, man. We got to be more supportive. Be more in tune. Channel Ryan never been a champ, and DHP say they chasing legacy. So that's why I call it a cherry pick gone bad, and he should have been fighting a unified fight. Okay. I rock with that, Bud. Bud Cheddar, I rock with that. I rock with that because without a doubt, he from him changing. And that's another thing, right? I'm glad you brought that up, actually, because we all know that Devin Haney went back to wanting to be an undisputed champion again, right? During the whole entire build up to this fight, he changed his mind from the beginning when the fight was made to when he's saying he wanted to become a big prize fighter. All of a sudden, he changed over midway and said, actually, I'm chasing undisputed. And that, in my mind, started to become kind of telling for me to say that, oh, what made him change his mind? Does he not have faith in his ability to be a big prize fighter? Did he feel out of his element going into a fight and not being able to get anything except for more fans? How did he feel about it? And with hindsight now, being that he lost, he actually took an L that when you look at it with hindsight might not have been necessary. Right, he could have still been an undefeated fighter holding weight, but look, he really didn't lose because Ryan came in at 143. Devin gets to keep his titles. He still gets to be in a contention to becoming undisputed, and he made probably the biggest amount of money that he's ever made. So, can we say that it wasn't worthwhile? Can we say that was a cherry pick when he made as much money as he did, had the biggest show that he has ever had with Ryan Garcia? I think arguments could be made that it wasn't a cherry pick, that it was just a business move that made sense at the time. Let's see here. J Cash Money. Damn, you Black American and having experienced racism in New York. To my understanding and some of my family's experience, NYC is or can be a very tribal place. It is, but like, you know, for example, Puerto Ricans in New York. If a Puerto Rican be like, yo, nigga, blah, 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 it's not looked at as racist. We all kind of black in New York. You know what I mean? If you're not white, you're black in New York. Or, you know, if you're not Asian or white, or, you know what I'm saying, you're black. Everybody kind of the same way. I think in California has more of the West Coast has more of like color lines, like the Mexicans and the blacks have a very hostile relationship, and there's a little bit more profound racism on the West Coast than in the East Coast. The East Coast can be very tribal, but not necessarily to the point to where you feel like racist things are happening to you. Like, I would say racist things is happening to me being from New York and living in New York, but when you leave New York and you go to the South or you go to California and you deal with, you know what I mean? You get to see some racism that you just don't see in New York. I don't know if that makes any sense. Ryan called out Haney. That's why that fight happened. Not a cherry pick at all. It was a response. Yeah, Anonymous, exactly. And it was also an opportunity to make money. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Rick Timms, Clay, me growing up in the Deep South, unfortunately, I'm used to that racial climate you just spoke on. Yeah, Rick, I know you guys are. You know what I mean? Honestly, I never seen it that way. When somebody white call me a nigga, that's just gonna hurt my soul. I ain't gonna lie. We're gonna fight about it and do all that, but at first, my spirit gonna be hurt. Like, what the, you know, what? You know what I'm saying? I don't know what I'm gonna go through, bro. Let me see here. Anonymous, I don't really know if anyone will end up undefeated in this era. Not if they fight the best. If the best fight the best, there shouldn't be a lot of undefeated people. When does that super chat open up, Clay? Yo, super chat will be opened up as soon as this channel gets monetized. We're close to doing it, you know what I mean? Once we get over 1,000 subscribers, we got a couple things to do. In due time, it'll come, G-Man, for sure, man. Until then, you can hit my Cash App, but I know it's complicated. Some of y'all don't want to do that. I understand, brother. One day we will get there in due time. Let's see, J Cash and Money Man. Rick Timms, I live in Florida and grew up in Ohio, currently in Arizona. You truly can't escape bigotry. It's everywhere, 100%. Kyle Porter says, my man, I'm about to close it up in a second too. Nobody's hitting the link. Nobody will come up here and build with the kid. You know what I mean? I appreciate you guys coming out for me, though. Shout out to all my new subscribers who came into the building. And I really appreciate you guys. Guys, please don't forget to hit the like buttons as well, so we can get the algorithm going and all that good stuff that I really don't know nothing about to be talking about. Let me see. Dev is still on an above average fighter. He's and he can fix his flaws. He just can't fix that chin. How he navigates going forward with that weakness is very concerning. Yo, Rick, I was speaking now about a little bit about that earlier to say that I'm wondering if the weight cuts and the dehydration and what he's putting his body through is messing with the integrity of his chin, the integrity of his body, his ability to absorb punishment. I'm wondering if these extreme weight cuts may have something to do with that. And I'm hoping, not only hoping, but thinking if he takes consideration and go up to 147 pounds, although there's going to be more adversity at 147 pounds that he has to deal with as well, although he'll be rehydrated and he'll be able to be, I think the integrity of his body will be stronger. He'll also be dealing with bigger punchers and bigger guys as well. And it seems like Devin has a past history of fighting smaller dudes and finding success that way. When you look at Ryan Garcia and how big he was last night, that might have been the first time we've ever seen Devin in that situation. So a lot to kind of like, we got to see what time says and what their camp is going to say. But as far as that chin is concerned, I am in that category of people right now who are questioning the integrity of his chin. And I'm wondering if the big weight cuts are having anything to do with that. And he might need to start thinking about going up into a weight class where he can have more healthier weight cuts, where they're not so extreme, where he's not having to gain 25 to 30 pounds the next day. I'm wondering if that will help in the integrity of his chin. Let me know what you think. Mr. Big Play Bray. So is Frank Martin a cherry pick? I don't think he is. JCat Superfax agreed. Dev may have lost, but he showed heart and exactly how he may have gotten paid in tank sparring. No quit and great endurance, even after being hurt. 100%, Kyle Porter. I agree with you. No fighter should be undefeated. When you challenge yourself, you're going to lose. Yeah, at a minimum, you might lose, right, Kyle? I'm not going to say you're going to lose, but at a minimum, you might lose. Let's see here. Jay Cash and Money Man. Yeah, when guys lose their O, the sport becomes better, and they usually come back a better fighter. Some guys got to lose that O and get that ass whooped, only unlock the beast inside. 100%. I don't know if he really has a bad chin. I get that he got rocked and stuff, but we can't act like Ryan wasn't a puncher. 100% anonymous, 100%. But I still question it, right? I'm not ready to sit here and say he has no chin, but anonymous, I got to be honest with you to say that I think it's reasonable to question if he has a chin based on what we've seen him go through last night. Unlock. I got you, Jay Cash and Money. Anonymous, I'm wondering if the right hand that landed on his ear took out his equilibrium because his legs were just gone, bro. Yeah, there was actually a lot of rabid punches in that fight. The way Ryan, when you deal with those long, lanky fighters and the way they hook off, and Devin Haney trying to keep the fight mid-range and stay inside of Ryan Garcia's, it seems like he was trying to neutralize that power from Ryan Garcia, because Ryan Garcia's power looks like it comes off at the end of his punches. So it looks like he was trying to eliminate that and make it a mid-range fight. But because of that, there were a lot of shots that were going behind his ear. Some might even say behind his head. So yeah, there might have been a rabid punch that caught Devin Haney in a weird spot that knocked his equilibrium off and made it hard for him to keep his legs up under him. I haven't rewatched the fight. I actually plan on rewatching it today, probably, if the zone allows me to. And I'll look at it a little bit closer. But I know there was definitely some shots that were like a little rabid. So I don't think it's far-fetched at all that would have knocked him off his equilibrium. Kyle Porter, Ryan, what up, Doe? D-Town Funk, salute. D-Town Funk. Also, go ahead and hit that like button. Good brother Blue, Big Mad. Oh man, Izzy, man, I got a shout out to my brother Blue. I know he was at the fight last night, and that had to be a very difficult thing to watch. Devin Haney go through that. He's good friends with the family. He's good friends with with Devin Haney and with Bill Haney. It's not just about his favorite fighter with that group of people. It's actually family almost, like they're really close. So I can imagine that he's over there suffering with his family. You know what I'm saying? But they'll be all right. Blue's a big fan of boxing first. He puts boxing above everything else, and he will heal up and be back up in here toasting the chat. You know what I'm saying? Getting at his haters, giving that great content, being an inspiration to the space. He will continue to do that. I know he will. Kyle Porter, I think we could question his power more so than his chin. Power more than the chin. Power more than the chin. He needs to get that power up for sure. 100%. I agree with you, Kyle Porter. 100%, brother. 100%. Jay Cash, the Money Man. When Dev started getting Bambi legs, I started saying, this don't look good for you, baby. Oh, look for you, boy. I said, baby. Sorry for putting words in your mouth. Pause, too, because that'd look weird if you'd have said baby. Yeah, man. When I saw him get clipped in that first round, I got to co-sign that. I became very nervous for him. When he got clipped that early, I'm going to be real with you. The moment Devin Haney fell, that first time he fell down, the way he got up, if you guys want to remember, I almost want to put up the highlight up here to show when he turned over onto his stomach, when he was laying on those back shoulders and he turned over on his stomach to get up, the way he struggled to get up for a quick minute there, I questioned if he was going to make that 10 count. Well, you guys feeling the same way? I don't know. I had a question. I was like, hold on. Is he not finna get up? Did he just get knocked out real early? Oh, hell nah. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I got nervous for him, man. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. Rickton was good frequent. Okay, cool. Everybody saying what's up to each other. Everybody saying what's up to each other. The ref dead ass had Haney's back. I agree. There was some. He did help Haney out when Ryan Garcia threw that late punch. He did make a big deal out of it, and it was a big moment for Devin Haney. He needed to get his legs together, and it looks like he went over to that corner, took about 10 deep breaths. You know what I'm saying? And he got his legs back somewhat because let's be honest, he didn't have his legs back completely. But I think that saved him. I'll be honest with you, I thought Ryan Garcia was getting ready to finish him. And I think Ryan Garcia felt like he was about to go finish him. Yeah, that's when I knew something was wrong for sure. Frequent, hey, Cowboy, the ref called slit 2 times or a slip 2 times where, in my opinion, it was Haney's legs being gone and falling 100%. I mean, also Ryan Garcia was leaning on the back of Devin Haney's head a little bit. You know, he was trying to grab. It was a combination of a lot of things, but one thing that was a common denominator was his legs wasn't quite underneath his legs. It wasn't underneath his legs wasn't underneath his body, so it's easy. He was falling because his equilibrium was knocked out. He got hit in his head and he was trying to get it together. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to D-Town Funk. All right, guys, look, man, we're going on 2 hours. I've been on here. I had a great time with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the experience. You know what I mean? Oh, link. All right, G-Man, for sure, bro. I'm gonna send it right now to you. I definitely would like to have somebody come on the channel and build with me, bro. There it is, G-Man. If you wanna come up, for sure. Let me see here. These dudes are bad boxing. You might not admit it, but it's deep down, you know, I speak the truth, brother. That's saying you have to put boxing first. Oh, you said every fighter in the Alphabet Boys got behind. Yeah, Outlaw Pugilist hit me up on on a message I put on it. Shout out to Outlaw Pugilist for sure. You guys go subscribe to his channel as well. He definitely keeps us right where we need to be with what's going on in Europe. What's going on with boxing? Salute, King. Salute. By myself up here for like 2 hours. Why it took you so long,
So salute to everybody, man. Claymore, man, I just wanted to ask you a quick question, man.
Yes, sir.
What do you think about Bill Haney's training job last night? And do you think Devin should go out and look for another trainer? If so, what type of trainer do you think would fit Devin's style to make Devin maybe a better puncher and, you know, make some adjustments?
Yeah, man. You know, it's funny you asked that because I was thinking about that before this fight. Thinking about actually like a month ago, I was sitting there thinking about like how a Freddie Roach might look over there. Somebody who can kind of like help him be a little bit more offensive. I was thinking about that. And as far as if Bill Haney needs to consider leaving, or if Devin Haney needs to consider removing Bill Haney, I would say that I don't know if removing Bill Haney is going to be the answer to Devin's problems. I think adding to what Bill Haney's doing, bringing somebody into there to add to what they got going on over there, is more of something I would think about doing. I think Bill Haney has a great relationship with his son. I think he gives his son confidence. Even for the way he speaks for him, you can just see the relationship he has where Devin Haney's weak. Bill Haney tries to pick up and help Devin Haney be strong. So do I think Devin needs to remove Bill from there? No, I don't think that's a good idea at all. But 100%, I think it's a legitimate thought for them to consider to bring somebody new into the game. And as far as who they should bring in the game, off the top of my head, like I said, I was thinking of like a Freddie Roach, only because I saw Freddie Roach working with Devin a little bit before the Regis Prograis fight. And I feel like what Freddie did with him might have been a big factor as to why he was able to look the way he was looking against Regis. And I think he gave Devin a lot of confidence to kind of make him go into this fight in the way that ultimately ended up in his demise in the fight. But somebody like Freddie, somebody offensive, somebody who can really help him with his punching, I think, you know, wouldn't be horrible at all to bring into the game, but not remove Bill. No.
I think Devin needs to sit down on his punches. That's for sure. Like I don't know if it's his weight cut that's affecting his punching power. Do you think maybe he needs like that Kronk style? Do you think that's suitable for him, or he's not that type of a fighter? You know, like a Emmanuel Stewart type style.
I think Yeah, I'd have to think about that. I'll be honest with you, because as he goes up in weight, I don't think he has all those X factor variables, right? Like when you think about that Crunk style, you think about like Tyson Fury, Lennox Lewis, the Klitschko's, maybe what's the young European's name who's a coach right now for Joseph Parker.
I think Kronk's Ben Whitaker also has Sugar Hill, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. But those
Ben
guys kind of
Whitaker.
have, like, once again, even better. Ben Whitaker's like tall. You know what I'm saying? He's not a small guy. I don't know if Devin Haney's going to be bringing that, what he had when he was at 135 pounds, that he's going to have it at 140 or 147. But I do think that that's an offensive sit on your punch type of jab, working around a jab type of training that goes over there as far as game plans are considered. But I don't know if Haney's going to be able to generate the kind of power to make that legitimate for him. He has to generate power, man. He has to generate power from somewhere. And I agree with you also. I don't know if the weight cut is why the power is not there. I don't know if that improves for him when he goes to 147 pounds. But I think he could try it out, definitely. But one of those guys could definitely do it. I'm still leaning more towards Freddie Roach than a Crunk style gym for him. But I think he can give it a shot for sure. Shit, even Derrick James might be able to help him generate some more power. Look what he did for Jamel Charlo before he came over there. He wasn't knocking people out like that, right? So
Yeah. I mean, we'll have to see, man. I think Devin's gonna come back. He's gonna come back strong. That's how champions rise. They come from their loss. You know, Teofimo lost.
100%.
He came back. So I'm just excited to see what Devin does to make sure he's back on that top pound for pound level, which some may say he might have left after that fight. Some may say he might not have. So yeah, we'll see.
Right.
But that's all I got, man. I don't want to hold you up too long.
Hey, no problem, King. I appreciate you coming up here, man. Please come some more, man. Shout out to you, man. Yeah, guys. Let me see here. Let's see what I'm missing here in the chat here. It ain't his style. He prefers to be elusive, so he don't commit. Okay, Kyle Porter. Even with Regis, he ain't sit down. He more concerned with counter coming, so he don't press on. I agree, Kyle, but I do think there were moments in the fight with Regis Prograis where he did sit down, and in those moments, it seemed like he was very effective with Regis Prograis. It seemed like you saw little glimpses of power in Devin. Like, oh shoot, Devin's sitting on his punches. Devin's able to, be effective in that area. And in that camp, going into that fight, Freddie Roach was helping Devin a little bit in that fight. I don't know if you guys remember seeing Freddie Roach actually training with Devin. He wasn't part of the team, but, I think they had like a weekend or a week together where Freddie Roach was working with him. That's why I kind of think like Freddie Roach might be able to help him a little bit, but, don't quote me, bro. I'm sitting here behind this camera right here trying to make content, bro. If I knew more about boxing, I'd be getting paid more money off it. Yerd! Rick Tim says what Dev needs can't be taught. Punch resistance on that chin and a full-fledged hood mindset when shit gets real. Shout out. And those two you either born with or not. Wow, Rick Timms. I can't argue with you, man. That instinct, man. That instinct. Shout out to Kyle Porter.
What's going on, Claymore? How you doing, bro?
We outside, baby. We outside.
Yeah, I hear you. I was gonna say, I think the main issue with Devin Haney was really the weight cut. He looked just as drained at 140 as he previously did against Loma at 135. I think his strength and conditioning, he may have put on too much muscle mass. So then trying to get to 140 was equally as difficult as it was previously. And and I think that has a lot to do with his punch resistance, similar to what people were saying with Errol Spence making 147. It just affects your brain and you're dehydrating that water, and it just makes it a lot more difficult to take the punishment. So I definitely wouldn't, say it's over for Devin. He just needs to dial in. I think 140 is where he kind of belongs because, without power and without a chin, it's concerning at 147 to me. And he loses his reach, his size advantage. So, I think he needs to try to buckle down at 140 And Ryan's a talented puncher. I mean, we can't take that away. He fought a dangerous puncher with lackluster footwork, but Ryan is good at what he does, you know, in the sense like Wilder. When he touches you, he hurts you. So, you know, I just don't be so hard on Devin. You know, he's a hell of a talent, hell of a fighter. And I just think Ryan's more familiar with him and had a bit more confidence having faced him 6 times in the amateurs. So, you know, he faced a version of Ryan that was confident. And, you know, and that's boxing, man. It was a great night of fights. And you know, the better man won. And let's not count out Devin Haney because he's a competitor and he put on an event that entertained us all. So that's all I wanted to say, Claymore. And I appreciate what you're doing here, man. I'm gonna lock in and follow you on a daily, bro, because your take on stuff is great.
Man, I appreciate you, Kyle Porter, for sure, man. Shout out to you. And your opinion was legitimate. Was legitimate, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? We definitely shouldn't throw him away. I don't know about him staying at 140. I think it's realistic for him to stay at 140 without a doubt. But I would like to see him do better with these weight cuts. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like, you know, it just seems like his body wants to go one way and he's forcing his body to go another way, and like you said, I don't know if that's influencing the integrity of his chin or the integrity of his body or his ability to absorb punishment. I don't know if it's affecting it. So I want to see him do something about it, to say the least. I don't know if the solution is going to 147, but is it these extreme weight cuts and rehydrations? I do think they need to be addressed. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I just think putting on muscle mass when he's squatting and deadlifting, that type of muscle mass probably is why it was harder to get to 140. Whereas at 135, he could not put on that muscle mass. And it just seemed like the dehydration and being weight drained seemed identical. So I think he needs to kind of lose a little bit of the muscle mass. So getting down to 140 is not as taxing on him. That's my take on it. But, you know, I just think, you know, and then stylistically, Garcia having, you know, a little bit less of a reach, but he's tall in stature, and that quick blazing hand speed is a problem. But I will say, man, it don't look too promising because of a fighter like Isaac Cruz who just keeps coming forward. What's going to keep him off of Haney? You know, I worry about that. Sabril Matias, what's going to keep him off of Haney? I think Haney could beat Teofimo Lopez because Styles. I mean, Lopez struggles with people who choose to move. And, you know, and Lopez prefers a come-forward fighter. So whereas I think Haney beats Teofimo, I think Teofimo eats up Matias. Pause. You know, like I just think someone who's coming forward allows Teo to counter. So it's just one of those things where I think Styles. But in my opinion, man, people should probably stay away from Isaac Cruz because Ryan Garcia's chin there and the way that he comes forward, it's just cool, man. I want to see these guys mix it up, and I hope, you know, we all just support the fighters who mix it up and not work hard to protect their own. You know?
Yeah. What do you think about Ryan Garcia and his aspirations of going to 147 and leaving? Well, he never was at 140, right? Because he's never even fought at the weight class before. But what do you think about that whole entire situation? Do you think it's just go ahead to 147 and compete up there, or do you think he should actually just bite down and fight at 140?
I think he's smart enough to say that to justify why he won't try to make 140 in a rematch. I don't think he's truly going to ever go to one, or not yet at least. Because at 147, he loses his stature, you know, his height advantage. And he's just not that skilled, like boxing-wise, where it's a sure thing against any of the competition there. You know, I think eventually he goes to 147, but I think it's more a ploy to justify why he does the next fight with Haney at 143. Just so people are aware, like, this is the direction I'm moving in. I'll do the catch weight for Haney, but I don't think, you know, he really intends to fight Boots or Crawford. You know, that's just Ryan Garcia creating buzz and doing what he does best, besides, you know, that left hook. And that's just drawing attention, you know?
No doubt, man. No doubt, man.
I just wanted to tap in real quick. I'm going to get back to work and shit, you know, but I appreciate you. And, you know, and I hope your channel continues to grow and you got a new subscriber and supporter in me.
Oh, man, I appreciate you, man. Salute to you, Kyle Porter, for sure.
All right,
thank you, man. You too, brother. Shout out to Kyle Porter. Shout out to Kyle Porter in the building. I'm about ready to close up. See here, Claymore looking back when Devin pushed Ryan. I remember Ryan that was nothing. I didn't. It didn't hurt. Do you think at that moment Ryan felt he had Devin? Missed a big play. I don't think that made him think necessarily he had Devin, but I think that was just part of the game, him understanding that he wanted to knock Devin out. I think he wanted Devin to come meet him in the middle of the ring. He wanted Devin to pursue him. He wanted to build some anger in Devin to get Devin to come to him as much as he could, even though I think he knew so much that Devin would move around the ring and he'd become somebody kind of elusive and hard to find. He wanted to hedge that, if that makes any sense, as much as he could. And I think he was actually a little bit surprised during the fight at how committed Devin was to pursuing him and engaging with him. And I think he got more confident as he saw Devin coming forward and deciding to melee with him. I think that's where his confidence came. But I think he might have been a little unsure of the kind of Devin that was going to come in that ring, because I think if Devin would have chose to sit on boxing more and being what we knew Devin to be, that it would have been a harder night for Ryan Garcia. So I think he was actually quite relieved to be like, oh no, this dude really thinks he's going to knock me out. He really letting it go. And he was just, lulling him into that security. As far as what happened on the top of that Empire State Building, I don't think that made him necessarily more confident in being able to absorb Devin Haney's power. I think he kind of already wasn't threatened by Devin Haney's power. I think it was more so the big thing he was trying to figure out was how could he motivate Devin Haney to fight in a way that he doesn't normally fight. And he chose his tactic he chose was anger and frustration and making Devin Haney want to knock him out more than he wanted to knock out anybody in his career before, if that makes any sense. Let's see. Claymore. Ryan has 215 amateur wins. He has a high level of skill. He showed that last night, TR, for sure, man. He showed that he could tap into something that we haven't seen him tap into. And, once again, shout out to Derrick James for facilitating a space to where Ryan Garcia could reacclimate himself to who he was back in the day. You know what I'm saying? If that makes any sense. B-Town, Ryan has become a prize fighter. Belts won't matter to him. It will be a catch weights from here on out. You think so, D-Town? We'll see, man. I don't know. I think something deep inside Ryan Garcia wants to be a champion, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I think he wants to be that. I think all fighters wants to be that. Although he's a prize fighter, he's getting richer and richer. His last the fight with Gervonta Tank Davis and this fight he had with Devin Haney, he made a lot of money. I think he'll continue to make a lot of money, but I think he can also accomplish accolade goals and make money. And I think if he can do that at the same time, I don't think it's far-fetched that he does it. You know what I'm saying? I think Devin should retire, like they said EJ should. Nah, Zach. Come on, Zacchaeus. Come on, bro. You're being extreme. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. I don't agree with that. Salute to freaking fly in the building.
Salute, Clay.
Family. What's on your mind, brother?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I think that Ryan outsmarted Devin Haney last night. Because Devin Haney, people pointing out that Devin Haney did, look drained. And I think Ryan outsmarted him by, not being willing to go down to 140, stopping himself at 143, where he felt that he was comfortable. And I think, I'm happy that Devin Haney didn't just, let the fight be called off at that point there. Because I think a lot of people would have been upset, if we didn't have that fight, after all of that happened and everything.
Right.
So I think he was like in a position where it was tough for him, but I think he did the right thing, by going on with the fight. A lot of people didn't feel like they waste their money, they got their money's worth and everything. And we all got to see the fight, so.
Right.
Kudos to him, man. Shout out to Ryan Garcia for, his win. Congratulations to him. He outsmarted Devin Haney. Also, I think 2 Cent Boxing, yesterday, what she said was very important. I think she was right too. Devin Haney fought the wrong fight. I think it was a bad idea for him to, chase Ryan around and try to step to him instead of just, I agree with him, trying to stay in the middle of the ring and fighting them in the middle of the ring, because I think they had a bet or something like that, that he wouldn't fight him in the middle of the ring. But I think going past beyond that, chasing them around and being baited into, following them and giving them confidence and stuff like that for Ryan, I think Ryan was just setting them up, like you said too. So, shout out to him for that. I think he outsmarted them.
No doubt, man. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? That's a major fact right there. I think, Ryan Garcia's strategy, with hindsight, we have to acknowledge the strategy in his approach to the buildup of this fight, right? Like I said, I think there's a little bit of both truths can exist in the same space. Whereas some people feel like Ryan Garcia was just BSing during the buildup and he was making up stuff. I don't think he was necessarily making up stuff. I think it's quite reasonable to say that a lot of things that he was saying he believed in, but I think him specifically coming out with that stuff during the buildup of this fight, and also the way he was approaching interacting with Devin Haney, was a strategy based on getting Devin Haney out of his game, getting in his head, getting him overconfident in one side of the conversation, and at the same time creating a more aggressive version of Devin Haney that would give him opportunities to walk Devin Haney to a lot of dangerous things in the fight. I don't think he was ever nervous of Devin Haney being dangerous as far as punching hard or putting him in danger of getting stopped, but I think he was nervous about Devin Haney being a little too elusive in the fight and making it difficult for him to find Devin Haney. So I think making Devin Haney aggressive and making as well as capitalizing on Devin Haney's confidence that he had coming out of that Regis Prograis fight, I think that man was a genius and was tactically moving in the right way to put Devin Haney in just the right spot where the stars aligned to give him an opportunity to make his left hand a big factor in that fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Also, I'm real curious about the pay-per-view too. I wonder how well it did. We saw that it was a sellout crowd there. We had a lot of people, clowning Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, saying that it was a flop and all of that. People made videos on it. They were going crazy with that. And, look at that. It looked like it. I think all the antics and stuff that Ryan was doing, actually sold the fight. Well, the ticket sales, as far as that, we don't know as far as the pay-per-views, but I think a lot of people was wrong about that. They proved the doubters to be wrong. It looked like a sellout crowd to me. What you think?
100%. It was about as close to a sellout crowd as you can have. And I actually spoke to a friend of mine who was at the fight last night. He was actually there with Blue and them. And he said there were a couple of, it wasn't completely sold out. He said there was some nosebleed section seats that were open. But for the most part, he said the arena was packed out and a super success, man. Devin Haney was part of one of the biggest events probably of 2024. We'll see how obviously Canelo and Munguia does, and we'll see how Tank and we got big fights coming up. So we're not going to say it is the biggest, but I think at this point right now, it is the biggest event. I think it was bigger than the PBC. I think it looked like it may have been bigger than the PBC event. You know what I'm saying? That happened with Tim Tszyu and them. So yeah, man, we have to also speak to the value that Ryan Garcia brought to the fight as well. It's arguable and reasonable to argue to say that Ryan Garcia brought a lot of value to this fight. A lot of people tuned in to see a Ryan Garcia perform, hoping to see a Ryan Garcia perform the way he performed last night. I don't think people expected Devin Haney to be the exciting fighter. I think they wanted to see Ryan Garcia show out. And he delivered on that, which just gives him, that's another victory that Ryan Garcia had, is now it's like you almost can guarantee if he's involved in a fight and he's on a pay-per-view, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be a must-see boxing because of the way he fights and what he brings to the table. Did it help Devin Haney? I'm sure it helped Devin Haney as well. But I mean, getting beat up like that is going to also hurt you one way or the other. But a huge event. And it just shows you that you get the right dance partners in the ring with each other, things happen. Fighters don't just do things by themselves. Gervonta Tank Davis didn't sell 1.2 million by himself. You know what I'm saying? And neither obviously did Devin Haney or Ryan Garcia sell 1.2 million by himself. If that makes any sense. But yeah, man, listen, guys, it's been great. It's been awesome. Shout out to all the subscribers. Shout out to all the interactions I had on here. Shout out to Mr. Big Play Bray. Shout out to Rick Timms. Don't spend that all in one place. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to G-Man King, who stepped up in the building and interacted with me today. Really enjoyed the conversation. Shout out to D-Town Funk. Shout out to Anonymous, J Cash the Money Man. Shout out to a freaking flyer who's right here on the platform with me. Kyle Porter. Shout out to Kyle Porter for sure in the building. Kevin L. Warford, would you admit Bill had no answers for his son during the adversity? I wanted to answer that question. Sorry, Kevin. I don't even know if you're in the building anymore. But yeah, I ain't gonna lie, man. Bill, I have to watch it again, but I didn't see Bill giving Devin Haney the best advice for dealing with the adversity he was finding inside that ring. I didn't see that. I'm not gonna lie to you, brother. I gotta watch it again. But, you know, on the opposite side of the spectrum, when you look at the way Derrick James was in the corner of Ryan Garcia, I didn't see Bill really being as effective. And that kind of goes into the conversation me and King had as to whether or not Devin would consider either getting a new coach or bringing somebody new into the fold to kind of help him in those situations. Shout out to Ordinary M. Shout out to TR, clearly, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to all you guys, man. It's your boy Claymore Rain. This is ATP Combat Media, and ATP stands for at this point, and at this point.
They hate when you elevate, yeah. They hate when you elevate. The second of losses, I'm handing them out, yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment, I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly, I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate, elevate, yeah. They hate when you elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate, yeah. I had to elevate. I'm way too fly. Yeah, I'm feeling myself. Ain't no chance I'm coming down, no. Got the soul view to myself, yeah. Why would I give it up? Why do they want to come take my place? I work too hard for it, don't need a replacement. This my vocation. Now I got rollies all in rotation. Hop on the jet just to take a vacation. Remember the moments was trapped in the basement. Now the hard work is all taking me places. Why they all play like we trapped in the matrix? Bet on myself and go ball out in Vegas. Living a life like I'm rich and I'm famous. Don't see the grind that I know that it came with. I ain't make it this far for myself, yeah. I had to prove to everybody else, I had to set them straight, yeah. I had to ball, so I had to renovate, I know. They hate when you elevate. The second of losses, I'm handing them out, yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment, I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly, I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate, elevate.